Hello. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to MixTalkLive, where we discuss all things nostalgic and retro, but still very relevant to the world in which we live in today. I'm your host. My name is Johnnyfrickinrico. I am a Southern California streamer, content creator, and a computer technology enthusiast. I grew up in the 1980s, so I love most all things considered retro by today's standards. I am also a fan of horror films and horror TV series. Um, I would like to welcome our panelists today. Each of the panelists is going to have an icebreaker question, and that question is going to be, what is your favorite Halloween movie? What is your favorite Halloween movie you'd like to watch during the season? So let's start it off. We're going to start with Rizaline. Hi, Rizaline. So
Hi.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hello. My name is Rizalinebeatrice. You can call me Riz. I'm from the Bay Area. Uh, I grew up in the '90s, so that is also retro-ish now too. Um, and
It's true. It is.
yeah. And I also I'm a moderator for a Shrek Facebook group that has like a couple thousand people in it. Um, scary movie, Halloween movie. Shoot. I'll I'll answer it with one of my favorite scary movies, which is, and I don't even know the title. This is messed up, but it's this like Japanese scary movie about a hotel, and in the movie they make a movie about the hotel, and it's scary, and it's like with like spirits. It's messed up. I don't know the title of it, but it's about a hotel, a movie about a hotel in a hotel. I'll look it up later. I know. I'll look it up later.
Okay, thanks, Rizaline. Okay, I want to welcome our next panelist, DJB Remix. Tell us a little bit about yourself, DJ.
Uh, all right. Thanks, Johnny. So what's up, everybody? My name is DJB. I am based out of Northern California, and I have been streaming for a little over 2 years now. It's crazy to think about, but I do a lot of Valorant, and I do discussion based streams like this one with you guys, which is really fun to me because we get to learn about each other and stuff like that, and we get to talk and learn about people in chat and everything. So that being said, anyone in chat, feel free to answer some of these questions for yourself. But uh yeah, I guess favorite Halloween movie. Well, it's kind of it's kind of funny because it's like um I have favorite scary movies, and then I have like movies that make me feel like the Halloween spirit or Halloween uh era and everything. And Pieces, what's up? Thank you for the raid. Welcome to
Oh,
the
hello.
stream.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hey,
pieces. Thanks for
pieces.
the raid.
Um so in my head, like I wouldn't say it's like a favorite because I haven't finished the film, but I think like I really want to finish the movie Coco.
Oh
Because
yeah, you fell asleep.
I did. I fell asleep during it. I did, but I want to see it because I feel like that would be really good in getting me into the whole spirit of this season, of this holiday. We our apartment, we have like skulls and stuff like that for like Day of the Dead decor and stuff like that. So but as far as like scary movie, like if I want to get into like a movie that really makes me think of a scary season, I guess I I would say maybe I like the Conjuring series, but my favorite um movie in that type of genre would be The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Because yeah, it's just really it's not the scariest movie, but it's really well written, and it's got like really scary scenes in it too. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you, DJB Remix.
for sure.
Thanks for the host there, Brandon. Um, Annie Talks, our next panelist. Annie Talks, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your favorite scary movie? We know you've seen a lot this week.
Oh, oh my goodness. Can everybody hear me? All good.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Annie Talks Show, or AKA Annie Talks. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I started out as a YouTube content creator. I still do YouTube, not as much, but I'm still a content creator on YouTube. Hi, thank you. I'm also a podcast host of several podcasts, including this one, Mixed Talk, and my own show, namesake Annie Talk Show, and a couple others. I'm an on-air radio personality for a Hawaiian radio channel as well. And I started here on Twitch about just over 2 years ago as well. So I'm butt up against my or just past my 2 year anniversary on Twitch. I started out as a just talk or just chatting and then talk show and podcast. Then I discovered Twitch Sings, like many of us have, and that has been like the bulk of my streams, primarily on Twitch Sings until it went away. So now I just kind of do everything else under the sun, from gaming to podcasts, of course, still do those. We're very active in our Discord, and once in a while I'll have a music stream. Once in a while, I'm not a musician by far, at the very least, a musician, but I do my best to try at least play for myself. um, Okay, as far as yes, oh my gosh, we just had a movie marathon this weekend. We had a Halloween movie marathon as well on our Discord, and we showed everything pretty much from the most family friendly, which to me was Hocus Pocus, all the way up to all the way up to Halloween 20 or Halloween, just a lot of Halloween, and I'm telling you, I watched most of it like this because I was so scared. I was so scared. I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to Halloween or any gory or horror movie. So yeah, I listen to it and it's just bad to hear it, let alone see it. So yeah, that was me the entire weekend. As far as my favorite Halloween, I guess my favorite Halloween movie. Well, it's a new one. I actually just discovered I didn't really have a famous or a favorite one rather. I mean, I just saw Hocus Pocus for the first time all the way through this weekend. Yeah, so I mean, I only saw bits and pieces of it, but I really, really enjoyed it. But the one that I really, really liked this weekend was Ghostbusters 2018. I was really, really impressed with that. It's Melissa McCarthy and what's her name? The gal from
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
there you go, the all SNL crew, and that to me was super hilarious, and I laughed so loud because it was really fun, and it wasn't scary. It was very friendly. Yeah, so that's it. That by far is my favorite so far.
Okay,
Thanks.
awesome. Thank you, Annie. And
Thank you.
our next panelist, I want to welcome Wifey Loves Nerd. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your favorite scary movie, Wifey?
All right, well, I'm Wifeylovesnerd. I live right now in Florida. I actually was living in Texas not too long ago. Really excited because I'm finally buying a house. But yeah, I enjoy everything from crafting to sewing, anything DIY, anything I can get my hands on. I was just doing a fall wreath with my mom the other night, and that was just to me just the best time ever. Like, kind of like puts my mind at ease and kind of think about other things and have conversations and stuff. So I really do enjoy everything that has to do with crafting and getting my hands on stuff. I just did a tie-dye shirt today as well, so I'm always doing stuff. But yeah, I do not watch scary movies. I'm a wuss when it comes to scary movies. I've been known to watch scary movies with no volume just so that I don't hear the scary sounds or the music, which I feel like that's what gets you, right? Um, but I really don't watch scary movies. Um, but I do have a favorite, which is Halloween Town. That's one of my
Yes.
ultimate favorites, and more because now my son's older, so I'm able to kind of like show him these movies, and to him it's like brand new, and now he's obsessed, and so I'm like, yes, it's something I could watch with him, and so we've sat down and we already watched like the first one and the second one, and I'm like, and there's another one. And he's like, there is. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like so
Oh,
excited
good.
that he likes it as much as I do. So that movie, it just, I don't know, it's memories from the past. And, obviously it's very kid friendly. And Not scary at all. But yeah, that's definitely one of my ultimate favorites. Was Halloween Town. Just remembering back in the day, and now being able to share it with my son. So
Nice.
yeah, it's my favorite.
All right. Thank you, wifey. So my favorite movie, anyone who knows me, obviously, it's John Carpenter's 1978's Halloween. This is a movie that they made for $325,000 and it grossed $70 million. It was the most
Wow.
successful independent film up until the Blair Witch Project came out,
Oh,
and it's a huge movie because it really led the way for independent film. If you really think about it, it legitimized the horror genre, and it created independent filmmaking that was otherwise dominated by just the movie studios and the major production studios. And John Carpenter is my favorite director of all time. The movie itself, Halloween, it really there's a lot of themes in the movie, but the overtone theme is that it's about authority, and John Carpenter hates authority. It's authority and the incompetence of authority, because in the whole movie they're telling him this guy's dangerous, he's gonna get out, and everyone just kind of shrugs it off and plays it off, and John Carpenter, the director, he has a problem with authority. If you ever seen his second movie, it's called Assault on Precinct 13. There's a really graphic scene where a little girl is getting ice cream and she gets killed. And so the MC, the rating system, got the movie and they said we're going to give this an X-rated review, film score because of that one scene. So he went in there and he edited out the scene, and then they took a look at it. They're like, okay, we'll give you an R. As soon as he got the film back, he put it back in and he released it to the theaters. So it's that kind of authority he hates, and that's a common theme in a lot of his movies is the incompetence of authority and the fight against authority. So, if you don't know, our topic today is
Shocking.
Halloween. Halloween is our topic today. Before we get
we
on,
just wanted to dress up.
In case you didn't
let's. What are we
know.
dressed as? Okay, obviously I'm dressed as Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th. I'm wearing a Haddonfield Memorial T-shirt from Halloween series. Annie, what are you dressed as?
I thought you
You just sent mixed messages to people. You realize
It's
that. You
I'm
got
supporting the
Jason and
genre, the genre. Okay, because without Halloween there'd be no Jason or Freddy or any of that.
uh-huh.
So Annie, what are you
All
dressed
right.
as?
Well, I would stand up, but this is as much as you're gonna get, you guys. So,
Woohoo!
yay! Ta-da! I am dressed as well. I don't know. Uh, one of my favorite characters as of late, besides Black Widow from the Marvel series, is Wonder Woman. Duh, from the whole
Yes.
DC. I had to think about it. Wait, she's not Marvel. So I loved it. I thought this would be a really good outfit. So yeah, I'm dressed as Wonder
Super
Woman.
cute.
Thank you.
Wifey, tell us, what are you dressed as? For anyone who might
I
not
am
know.
the corpse bride.
Yay.
That's so
I love that.
cute.
I love that outfit. That's awesome.
It's so
Thanks.
beautiful. How long did it take for you to do your hair and makeup?
Maybe like an hour.
Really? That's it? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Is that your real
Oh
hair?
my
No, I'm
goodness.
just kidding.
Oh yes, my real hair. And
It's
and
so
and
flowy.
a story behind it too is that I actually did this a long time ago, and I was actually trying to find the picture and couldn't find it, but I did it for a Tim Burton contest and actually won, so that was kind of cool.
Oh,
Um, and so I
Nice.
kind of just kind of recreated what I did a couple years back, and I love doing the Corpse Bride. I think it's so funny, and you really can't make a mistake. It's not, you're not supposed to look cute.
I
True.
love it. I can't believe it only took you an hour. Oh my god, it took me longer. It's yeah. Okay.
Okay. Rizzaline, what are you dressed as?
I'm a Luigi.
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 I should have went for like a mustache.
You
I
should.
feel real. I feel really comfy right now.
give us that
It looks
Luigi.
very
Pencil it in.
comfortable.
Wait,
What is
go
his desk
pencil it
pic?
in. Go pencil in it right now.
Oh yeah, you do that. You do that.
Make
But
sure you
my
make it all the way across and not right here.
You know what I
my
what I had
favorite
for?
is
I'm
my
sorry.
favorite. What's my favorite on in a Mario?
Oh, Wario.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my
he's
main.
like the Bizarro Mario. Wario.
That's my main.
Yeah.
It's Dara Mario.
Um, DJB Remix, what are you dressed as? I think I have an
All
idea.
right, well, I didn't really need to put too much effort in this one. It's just literally
It seemed
a Star
logical,
Trek.
right? It seemed perfectly logical. Fascinating.
This
Little
is a
Wonka.
Starfleet uniform, particularly from the Kelvin timeline of the Star Trek universe. Uh, and This is a science officer's uniform, as you all know. You know, blue is science, and I am unranked. I believe, since there's no. Oh wait! I forgot on the collar. So this is
Oh.
two stripes means lieutenant, I think. Anyway, yes, I'm a big Star Trek fan. For those of you that don't know, I grew up watching a lot of Star Trek, huge amount of Star Trek for some reason. I don't know why, but and I just remained a fan ever since. And I'm super excited to see that Star Trek has kind of made a resurgence now. A new Star Trek series actually launches this weekend, so I'm hyped for that.
Nice.
All right. Awesome. Love it. I have a Captain Kirk one. I think I told you that in my closet.
Oh, you guys should have been twins.
Okay, so I just want to mention that today for lunch I went to Papa John's and I got the jack o' lantern pizza. They made it shaped like a jack o' lantern with a little stem, and then they made a
Wow.
face like they put the
So
pepperonis all
cute.
around and made two eyes and a mouth, and then they put two olives for the eyes,
Oh,
and it was really
I
good
love
too.
it.
It's really good. I enjoyed it. So get
Okay, I
your
have to tell
Papa
you this quick.
John's fix. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I have to tell you this quick story. So, as I was getting dressed, I walked out into the kitchen living room to have my daughter take a picture, but she's not here. She went to go get her nails done. So only my son-in-law was here and my granddaughter, my grandbaby. So I go, Frank, can you quickly take a picture? And he goes, sure. And little Olive came up to me and she just kind of like slowly reached her hand to touch the dress, and she was like in awe. I was like, "Yay! Oh my
Yeah.
Uh,
god, it was so cute." I go, come here, take a picture." Like she thought it
Oh.
was. She didn't think it was Nana, which was really kind of cool. I was like, "This is freaking amazing!" Yeah, so I thought it
so
was
Mhm.
That's
cute.
awesome.
she was
Darling.
like she just didn't know what to do. She wanted to reach out and and she
And
came
as I
over to
and
touch
as
her
I
like
I told you before that my son was like, "What are you doing, mom?" When he saw me, he's like, "No, mom, no."
kids, I'm telling you, right? Too
hmm
funny. Well, y'all look beautiful. Y'all look fabulous, by the way. So, including you, Johnny, with the mask and everything.
Thank you.
Big
Thanks for
wardrobe
the
for
follow,
real.
Larcy.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you.
so our topic today is Halloween. Halloween. So we're gonna start it off right here with fun facts with Wifey Loves Nerd. Halloween.
Woo
Yes.
Take it
woo!
We
away.
need a theme song
I
for
know,
you.
right?
You know.
Let's
All
go.
right. So my fun facts for today. Let's see. The first one I have is the most lit jack-o'-lanterns on display is 30,581, and
Jeez.
it was done in New Hampshire. It
Wow.
held the
That makes sense.
Guinness World Record for the most jack-o'-lanterns lit or on display. And supposedly they've broken this record 8 times since then. So
Wow.
they've gone even beyond that. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
The trick-or-treating existed in the medieval times. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I thought that was kind of cool. Trick-or-treating was inspired by the medieval English tradition of souling, which involved children going door to door on Souls Day, so they called it Souls Day,
Nice.
offering prayers to residents' deceased loved ones in exchange for food. So that's kind of how trick-or-treating came about.
Oh, that's
Cool,
nice.
cool.
Wholesome.
And for
Right, right.
the for one of the most popular movies, of course, it's Disney's Hocus Pocus. It says that the Halloween favorite was initially intended to be more scary than funny, and actually, it was called Halloween House before they decided to call it Hocus Pocus. So that was kind of cool. It says that the movie, let me see, 2017 film, Stephen King's classic horror novel, grossed 700 million Okay, worldwide. So it was crazy the amount, and apparently it's still going. So let's see. Candy corn was
I love
originally
candy
called
corn.
chicken feed.
You do?
It was called chicken feed. And what they say is that the company sold the polarizing treat in boxes with a rooster on the front in order to appeal America's agriculture roots. Um, it says that it was back in the 1880s. They say love them or hate them. So some people say that candy corn is gross. Other people say they like candy corn. So I like candy corn. I think it's
Me
delicious.
too. Let's get candy
Yeah,
corn.
I'm
Okay,
not a fan of candy
I
corn.
never liked it. I
Yeah.
just give it
they
away.
have
Yeah,
candy corn
it's
Oreos.
they
Mm.
do. Oh
Yeah, I've
wow.
never liked
That's
it.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
I don't like the candy corn pumpkins. I feel like that's like a little
Oh
much,
yeah,
but
I
like
don't. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's
yeah,
it,
it's
They're
like
it's
too
all little
sweet.
it feels too
kernels.
waxy to me. The texture of it,
That's
like
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay,
All
sorry,
right.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
In no, you're fine. In 2018, there was a site that showed revealed the most popular Halloween costumes included a few modern figures like Fortnite characters. Marvel's Harley Quinn was a big one. Also showed like very classic costumes like Spider-Man, dinosaurs, witches, pirates, and princesses. So those were very popular, and apparently a lot of the traditional ones like witches and so whatnot are also were also very popular back in 2020. So they're still going as well. Let's see. In 2017, Warner Bros. Released the Stephen King's terrifying tale, which was the movie It. With the nightmarish clown, the freaky film bought a staggering of
Annie's
327.48
like, no.
million, making it the highest grossing R-rated horror movie of all time. It's followed by The Exorcist, which is the one that DJB
I
talked
got it.
about. Um, Followed by Get Out was another movie.
Ooh.
1999's The Blair Witch Project was 140.54 million. And the
Oh,
last one is The Conjuring. So they say that they made a whole lot of money making the horror movies.
no.
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
That makes
But
sense. You know why? Because nobody wants to go see a horror movie alone.
Yeah.
They want to bring all their friends to go with them.
True.
So that's why the horror movie genre is so popular even to this day. Because Hollywood knows that they don't cost a lot to make, and they tend to make a lot of money. So
Yeah.
So those are my fun facts for Halloween.
All right. Thank you, wifey.
Yeah.
I
What's
just
your
You're
theme song?
welcome.
one of the things that you mentioned there, I just want to point it out. For like 2 or 3 years straight, my kids when they were younger and they were to go trick or treating, they went as characters from Minecraft. And I was surprised because
Oh.
every one of the doors they went to, they knew exactly who they were. Not only did they know it was Minecraft, they knew there was a creeper, or it was Steve, or it was there's this other one that's like a Steve, but he's like a zombie Steve. I forget the name of it. But they
I was
actually knew
surprised.
who it was, the character itself. It's amazing.
I was surprised this
Oh.
year they had the Among Us character. Uh, it was like one of those inflatables, and
oh,
it was like with the
cool.
little window, for the kids to see, and apparently within the first day that like the Spirit Halloween and all these places open, they were gone like immediately, like they were sold out super quick. So
Wow.
I was very surprised with that. Yeah, and my son was like, "I want it," and I was like, "I'm not looking for that. I don't know where they're gonna have it. They're all sold out." So yeah,
Oh, that would
Wow.
have been
but
cool.
it is pretty cool. I was like, "Oh, that's a cool costume,"
You know,
very
to
in
to be
today's.
sorry.
Go ahead,
To
go
be
ahead.
fair, remember how we talked about this months ago, wife? You remember how our obsession with Valorant? We were like, "Oh, everybody should dress as their agent." Remember? And we
Right.
were looking up all these different like agent costumes, and there was one
ooh,
that was for me for Viper was kind of provocative, and I don't think so. Then again, I've lived here for about close to 10, 11 months now almost, and honest no 10 months, And honestly, I can't find my sewing machine for nothing, so there's no way I was gonna make a Viper costume. But remember how we were talked about it? We're like, oh, we should all totally dress as our agent.
I
It would have
know.
been so cool if we could have done that, but dang it. Yeah, but yeah, last year I do remember Among Us was a huge, huge hit, and I saw a lot of Halloween costumes posted all over the place, and some really clever ones. I had posted a few in our share your photos too, some of those. But yeah,
Hmm.
it would have been nice. If we could have just planned it a little bit better, and maybe just put set deadlines for everybody.
Ah,
We
that's too
could have
bad. I
we
could have
could
been
have had it.
Cypher. You could have been
I
Killjoy.
know.
Don't play Valorant.
I know, but I mean, if you needed to dress up as a
Okay.
Valorant character, you could have been
It's
Killjoy.
okay. We'll cosplay for a con or
There
something.
you go. That's true. Hey, yeah, that's absolutely true. That might be a costume for next year, so we'll
Right?
see. Halloween stage for sure. Hello Kitty.
That could be a
Yeah,
thing. Every time you
yeah.
stream, you're as your character. You know what I mean? You be one with the character.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Have
It
a
would have been
gun
fun.
strapped to your back. It's doable.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll try to get away with a gun in any form. It's never gonna happen. I'll just have to pretend this is my vandal. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, so our topic today is Halloween. What is Halloween? What does Halloween mean? Now, Halloween is a holiday that means a lot of different things to many different people. To me personally, I had a Halloween family growing up. Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. I had a mother who would spend the entire day decorating the front yard with tombstones, skeletons,
oh.
scary lights, fake dead bodies, just to bring the holiday to life. As a kid on Halloween,
Charlie Whitby.
I would dress up in a scary outfit and surprise jump scares the unsuspecting trick or treaters all through the night. But more importantly, Halloween was a way to meet the neighborhood up close and personal and see the community in a different way than before. Neighborhoods would come together, creating amazing decorations, spooky mazes, scary sound effects, and music to bring the fear and the mystery into the entire night. As a kid, it was almost like a rite of passage for the terrified children who would risk getting scared to get that also desired candy. I think everybody has a need to be frightened from time to time, whether it be scary theme
Except
parks,
Annie.
haunted houses, or the thrill of a terrifying movie. The Halloween season
Ask
provides
him.
that kind of release and scratches that itch so very well. Okay,
It's
so
also
Annie is example.
each of our panelists has put together two questions that they're going to ask. So we're going to go through each panelist questions. We're going to start with Annie Talk Show. What are your questions for the panel?
Okay, great. Actually, I'd love for some participation from some of our audience and from some of you guys in chat as well. I'd love to see some of your responses. But the first question I have, I guess we'll just do a first question and answer, yeah?
Yeah.
Or a question and an answer. So the first question I have is, what is one memorable Halloween you can recall from when you were a child? What stood out to you when you guys were children?
hmm, I could go first.
Good.
Uh, I I guess the way I'd answer the question is like I a lot of my childhood memories, like I remember them because I have a picture in my photo album of them. So there's a lot of pictures of like us in the garage, and like I was telling the group earlier, like I remember my there's a picture of my dad with like the same kind of hockey mask that like Johnny is wearing, and it's like from back in the 90s, and so it makes I'm like, oh, like because it's a reference to that movie. But we have lots of pictures of like me and my brothers. um Hello Kitty Senpai is my brother, and they're twins. So then, like, they'd have like the matching costumes, or like my parents, they would just switch their costumes the next year because it's the same. Or like there was a year that I had like a Belle from like the Beauty and the Beast, and there was another girl that had the Belle outfit too, and we took pictures. Just lots of pictures, and like what you're saying too, Johnny. Like that's the only time we'd really like see people in the neighborhood. and
Yeah. And everyone would
interact
be
with people.
smiling, even the grumpy neighbors or the grumpy old man down the
Yeah,
street, just overjoyed seeing all these kids come and get
yeah,
candy and show their costume. It was like it's a community thing. I think that's where the whole
yeah,
COVID-19 thing, it really hurt the holiday because that's most of these holidays are personal. When you have Thanksgiving, it's just your family, maybe some a girlfriend
for
or a
sure.
fiance or whatever, and then Valentine's Day, that's as personal as you can get, right? But community wise, Halloween I think is huge
Yeah.
for the communities.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. So DJ.
Oh, a memorable holiday. Well, I mean, we could talk about this more later, but I'll mention off the bat that I should say that I never really got to celebrate Halloween when I was a kid, because my parents were not about that. They they did not support the holiday. They thought it's bad.
Right, right, right.
um Yeah, and so my parents would never really like if I wanted to go get a Halloween costume or something one year, like they weren't really they weren't really open to that. They wouldn't really. So sometimes I would have to make my own costumes. And so one day at school, um I went to school and I made my own costume and I was the Unabomber.
Oh, I know
Like the
this story. I know this story.
So so yeah,
That's
and
not
if you
okay.
guys remember the Unabomber sketch, right?
Oh
It
yeah.
was just a hoodie,
Yeah.
and he had his like hair that comes down
The
like
little
this, and
the
he had
little Superman curl,
sunglasses.
the Superman curl,
Yeah, right,
and then the
right, and
sunglasses.
that's what I was. I was the Unabomber for Halloween, and I I got pulled aside by one of the teachers, and
Oh
It's like we need
no.
to have a talk, Mr. Kaczynski.
are you okay?
You're gonna
Ted
check your
Ted
bag,
Kaczynski.
Come here.
check
Come
your
here. Come
pockets.
here.
Dang.
Did they have a wand? Did they have a metal detector wand on you?
Dang.
Yeah.
But see, you remember
That's
that. You
funny.
see, you remember that, and
True.
that
It's
that's
It was
it's a memorable
memorable. There
Halloween.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. All right, and let's go with wifey.
So I can remember trick or treating with my cousins, and we would always go to her neighborhood, and they were these like townhouses that we used to trick or treat at. And there was a lot of people, there'd be a lot of kids out and stuff. And I remember that it was getting kind of late, and there weren't that many people out, at that point, but we were still out. And we're going door to door, and I'll never forget, I was dressed up as a hippie, and I had like these like tight jeans with like a bell bottom, right, type jeans or whatever. And I'll never forget it because I we were going to one of the houses, and there was this one house that said like no trick or treating, don't ring the doorbell, like,
What the heck?
something like there was like a sign. I don't know if they just didn't celebrate Halloween or whatnot, but they had the sign, and there was this huge bell, like this really big bell, and I'm here like, gullible, and I'm like just standing there, whatever. And my two cousins that were trick or treating with me decided to ring this bell after it says like don't ring and don't trick or treat, and they ran off. And I'm still standing there, like, oh my God, like, and then I realized what happened. So I take off running after them, didn't realize there was this big hill, ended up falling on the hill, staining my jeans with grass
Oh,
stains all over the jeans. And then they like went over this like fence, and I was like, how am I gonna get over this fence? And I'm like here by myself. I hear like the door opening, like a person that like they like rang the bell to, and I was like freaking out and like trying to get over this fence. Went over the fence, ripped a hole in my jeans, like
oh my goodness.
it was horrible, and I was so mad at them because I was like, "How could you do that? How could you leave me by myself?" Like, and it was dark, and there was like barely anybody around, and like this person's gonna come out of their house and like yell at me and like whatever, So I was like terrified, and I'll never forget that. But yeah, that's something that I remember so vividly, and was so mad at them for the longest time. And then like the next year, I'm like, I'm not going to be treated with y'all. You can go with someone else because I'm not going with you.
Oh my goodness.
That's one of my things I can remember.
Oh.
my memories.
Memorable. Those are always fun. I love those kinds of memories. I love the whole backstory. It's like the thing, right? All right, Johnny, what's your most memorable?
Well, as a kid, every Halloween for me was kind of memorable, whether it be the
Mm-hmm.
costume or the decorations. But the one that stands out to me the most was in the summer or in the fall of 1985. That's right after they caught the Night Stalker, and people were kind of
Oh,
like, do we do Halloween? Do we not? Because he terrorized the whole summer of '85. He terrorized, and this guy's
I
bad. I
watched
mean,
the documentary.
he hit so many places. I mean, these are some of the places he hit: Los Angeles, the city of LA, Rosemead, Monterey Park, Monrovia, Burbank, Diamond Bar, Glendale, Mission Viejo.
Yeah.
He hit all these locations, and so people
Travis
were confused.
Tricetti.
Like, do
Yeah.
we do we do Halloween? Do we not? But people did do Halloween, and then my best friend dressed up like the Night Stalker for that Halloween. It's hilarious. It was
Well, they
hilarious.
traumatize you.
Yeah,
What
it's just like
what
such
was the
bad taste.
costume?
Oh, he got a bloody baseball bat and put blood all over it, and he he
Oh
he
Oh,
my
put one of those fake wigs to
gosh.
look like
Oh
Ramirez, and
no.
oh
oh yeah,
no.
and we
That's
were just like
terrible.
shaking our
He
heads.
was brutal. He was brutal. He used to go into like he would go make sure you guys lock your front doors and your windows and such because that's how he would enter was through your windows
Yeah,
or open or uh, open window even though you have screens, that kind of thing. So yeah, I remember that really well too. But holy crap, you must have been traumatized.
it was
One
rough
year after the
because
other.
yeah, just a couple months after all those attacks. And it was weird
Yeah.
because he was hitting so many different cities. Like Mission Viejo is South Orange County, you know what I mean? That's about as far south you can get in Orange County. And then he went all the way to Burbank, Glendale, Rosemead. We lived in Baldwin Park area. Rosemead's like right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I remember the most is just that Halloween where people were kind of hesitant, but they went ahead and did the Halloween celebration. So.
Wow. So my for me, I think okay, as if the neighborhood was like fooled. Okay, so my brother, I only have a brother growing up, or I only have a brother growing up because my sister's somewhere else. I don't know. No, just kidding. I only have a brother. So growing up, I couldn't go anywhere without my brother. So I had to go everywhere he went, which also meant wherever he went trick or treating. I couldn't pick right wherever we could go. So, anyways, I had to go with him, and he and his friends devised this plan. Let's dress as this for the first hour, and they would be whatever, and they would go to all the
Wow.
houses, and they would get bags and bags of trick or treating. Oh, trick or treating. Me too. So I went along with them, and then they came back. We dumped all our candy onto the kitchen table, and then they took the bags again, and they changed their clothes. And I'm like, "What are you doing? Oh, we're gonna be
Oh.
as this person." And I'm like, "Oh, so I did it. I did it too." So every single year we would like change out after every hour, and then go around the neighborhood and get
That's
more candy.
funny.
Yeah, that was. And then I
That's
think
smart.
somebody finally caught on to us and say, hey, you guys were just here over an hour ago. We're like, no, we weren't. No, we weren't. Yeah, so that was what we did. But
I got busted.
so
Wow, that's
my
smart.
brother loved to devise all those little mischievous little ideas, and I had to go along. So thankfully, we didn't get in trouble. So because I'd have been like, I went along for the ride, Dad. So that was us. Yeah, that was my most memorable. Well, good for everybody. Do you want me to go on with my next question, or you want to
Yeah.
just cycle through one
No, no,
more?
no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My next question is, how differently do you celebrate Halloween now compared to when you were a child? Let's start with Johnny this
Um. Now compared to when I'm a child,
time. Yeah.
well, obviously as an adult, you don't go trick or treating. And in fact, I didn't go trick or treating once I turned maybe about 13. It wasn't
Oh,
cool to go begging for
wow.
candy.
Too cool.
Too
Too
cool,
cool.
too
Too
cool.
cool for
But we'd
school.
have parties.
Mm.
We'd have little parties. Classmates would have a Halloween party, and a lot of people sometimes they'd have their birthday near Halloween, so you got to dress
Yeah.
up for it.
Dress to kill.
And now as a dad, my kids are too old. They're all pretty much grown up, so they don't go trick or treating. But they see that Batman costume hanging in the closet or hanging in the garage, man. They just try to squeeze into it, like so. So I take them to
Not
theme parks,
scary.
like not scary
Oh, there you
farm,
go.
stuff like that with the boys. I have all boys, so not scary
Right,
farm. I
right.
just took them to Knott's the other day, and I got an annual pass, so I can go anytime now. They all have annual passes too. So
Nice. Were you big on like costume parties then, like growing up
growing
at
up,
all?
not so much. I have one friend who would have one every year, and it was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun. But I wouldn't go every year just because, sometimes you too wrapped up in your own life, and work.
Right, right.
So
What about now? I mean, no costume parties, that kind of thing. I mean, first of all, the pandemic,
I
right?
don't know
But
anybody who's having a costume party. That's kind of
right, I
sad.
know.
If anything, it's like some speakeasy
Yeah.
shit. I mean, it's just like,
Right. Don't tell everybody.
yeah, it's like
Yeah. True, true, true that.
True.
Oh, well, good, good. I mean, I think you're onto something, that the way in which we did things back then, we didn't have those kinds of theme parks per se. We kind of made our own kind of, in our neighborhood, or we always made it kind of a tradition to do certain things, but not so much the way that we have it today. So
well,
theme parks are a big thing.
I always liked I remember when I first took my kids trick or treating, some of the neighbors would build a huge maze to get to the front door, and in the
Yeah.
maze, there's like a tents, right?
Ah,
And then in the maze is like the mister and the lights and people jumping out.
Sweet.
And I was just like, that's awesome. And my kids are, oh, and I'm like, there's candy on the side. There's candy. Look, see that kid came out. See? And then my
Did they
youngest
come?
finally went, right? He was chickening out on all of them. And then finally he
Oh.
went and he was so proud of himself. He's just like with the candy in the air, like, I did it. I did it. Look.
Oh.
It wasn't
that's so
scary,
cute.
And I'm like, yeah, right.
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's go with DJ.
Um. Okay. Well, I know that pre-pandemic, Rizaline and I, our typical traditions for Halloween were to, uh, we would usually dress up as like a couple type outfit. So there was one year where we did, Mary Poppins and whatever Dick Van Dyke's name was,
The
and
chimney dude.
yeah, chimney guy, chimney
I
sweeper
like
guy.
that one. That
Yeah,
was a nice one.
yeah, and but we usually what we would do is we would go to like a bar that had like some Halloween thing or a club or some lounge or something, and just have fun. That's because honestly, that's the only I never really, like I mentioned, I never really celebrated Halloween when I was younger, with the exception of a few things here and there. But yeah, like it is really different because now we just wear whatever costumes we feel like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
We haven't gone to do that in the past couple of years, cause of the pandemic too. And it's
Yeah.
just like I didn't feel up to it, like just to try to figure out. Even like right now, I'm like I don't know. We didn't really plan anything,
Yeah.
but I have
Well,
like
we did like a scary stream not too. That I mean that's how we celebrate it now. Is we play scary games on on Twitch or whatever.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I would buy
Exactly.
candy,
yeah.
eat
We
all the
did
candy.
we bought a whole bag of trick or treat candy, and we just had it over the course of this past month ourselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we
There
did
you
grow.
go. One
Win win.
you get one
Yeah,
treat every day.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. I think we heard most of what you said too, Rosaline. So you guys kind of just combine now today, or
Sure.
do you want to elaborate a little bit more, or do?
Um, that's pretty much it.
Mm,
I mean, I don't even remember like when I stopped trick or treating,
right.
but I
Most of the
think
time, it's about around high school, I think.
well, maybe even before that. I mean, I like I ask in kind of in my questions too, but it's like because our church would have like a harvest festival
Mm-hmm.
around the same time. So that would be like the Halloween activity, and I mean, as I got older, I'd be involved in like helping to plan it and do all the stuff for that. So it's like, so yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe it was probably like around like middle school, little before middle school that I we weren't trick or treating, and I mean like the neighborhood kind of changed too.
Yeah.
Sure, our city. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I grew up in a hood city. Um,
Johnny's like, dang it. Hood count one.
um, basically,
Here
I
we go.
grew up in a city.
It's like just like Johnny's face.
So would they give out bullets instead of candy? No. Here's a switchblade, kid. Rambo knife.
Oh no.
In some neighborhoods, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
but uh, but basically, as time started changing, our city got more and more dangerous. So it became less of a it became less friendly for kids to go trick or treating. And I remember even when I was in high school, there were people would say like, "Oh, we're not going to that neighborhood to trick or treat. We're going to the wealthier neighborhoods to trick or treat because it's dangerous going to that neighborhood." Plus, the poorer neighborhoods don't give out as good candy, right? So
Oh my
so yeah, it's like
That's
people would
yeah.
target like the wealthier neighborhoods, um,
okay, okay.
and so yeah.
As opposed to the 99 cent store. No, just kidding. Oh, sorry.
They handle that part.
Oh, sorry. That was a shameless plug. Okay, all good. Awesome. Okay, wifey, why don't you tell us about how different it was then compared to now?
Well, definitely having your own kids, it's so different now that the focus is more on him and I get excited just to see like what's he gonna dress up as this year, and go look for costumes and this year was kind of cool because it wasn't really a costume that you just go buy. It was like the different pieces, he was a cowboy. So we're like, oh, let's go see if we can find a cool, checkered shirt or
I
whatever
like
that's
that.
cowboy. And, you've got jeans at home, you're good, easy, let's find the hat, let's find the accessories. He wanted the little, what do you call that thing that holds the two guns on the
Holsters.
side, the holster.
Uh-huh.
So that was kind of fun, and we do that every year. Or one year, I he wanted to be um, the Five Nights at Freddy character, and so I was looking for it everywhere, but it was really expensive online. And I looked at it, I'm like, it's really not that difficult. So again, with me liking crafts and stuff, that's just like another reason for me to put something together, and out of literally like poster board and foam and some felt, made his entire costume and he absolutely loved it and, was super, super happy. And so, it's definitely different now that, I have my son and get to experience a different way of Halloween with him than as opposed to, when I was a kid myself and what the things we did. And it's, a little different now too. Like there's things that I don't remember doing as a kid, like trick or treating at a mall. Like I didn't do that, like stores.
Mm.
And I feel
Really?
like there's other events and stuff too now that weren't, back in the day as well. So, but yeah, I definitely feel like the whole trick or treating with my son and finding out what costumes he's gonna, wear and putting the pieces together, like that to me is like so much fun and definitely something very different from back then.
Yeah. I like I agree with you in terms of like going to a mall. When that started happening, I'm like, when did this start? I didn't know what to think of it. But
Safer.
in retrospect now, I'm like, oh, I guess it is safer, given
Right.
given that how the times were changing and and then it was becoming more and more scarier to let your kids loose out in the street, and not only because of the potentials behind doors or closed doors or in yards, but the potential of getting hit by cars or
Hmm.
the potentials of being kidnapped, right? Things like that.
Mhm.
But so sadly, that is the state of the way the world was progressing. So for me, so there's that. But then for me, I also came from almost from the minute I left high school, college, I went right into a corporate into the corporate world. So I've been in corporations. I was working at a company for almost 15 years actually, and then after that, for another almost 10 years after. So in the corporate environment, which I really loved during Halloween, they made such a big deal. Not only did they dress up
Yeah.
their cubicles, right? They would have
Mhm.
cubicle like
Yeah.
awards
Oh
or
man.
cubicle wars or friendly fire wars kind of thing. But they would also have a parade, a costume parade, and I love that. That was
Yeah.
my favorite. Even though I would never dress up because I was anti Halloween, but I loved watching everybody come in their costumes and just all the creativity behind it, the traditional, you have the Mary Poppins, you had your Star Wars Darth Vader kind of thing, but then you also had very creative, pieces where people, I had, there was a couple that dressed as Humpty Dumpty, and it was amazing. It was like, they're like, I'm Humpty and I'm Dumpty. It was so cute. It's like, where did you get that? Those ideas. So that's the kind of stuff that I miss personally growing up. And now, in the environment in which we work now, we're hybrid, right? We're home half the time, or we're maybe on campus. Maybe if you, for me at least, we're on campus like 2 times a week, but we're home mostly. We don't have a lot of that interaction, a lot of that camaraderie anymore. So this year for Halloween, I know that no one is going to do anything, because
Dang.
it hasn't been broadcasted. So that's what I miss. I think we're kind of
Yeah.
moving away from, the world is changing in such a way that some of the traditions, even in the corporate or in the workplace, is going away. So not only growing up, do we watch the progression, shift, but we also watch how we do things even in the work environment. So that to me kind of like made me kind of
Yeah.
sad. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and say, yeah, because work was always, you spend most of your time at work anyways, for most of us, right? So why not have something fun and something rewarding? And it was so much fun to be able to watch some of those costumes and just laugh, have a really good time. Yeah, so those are my questions, you guys.
Mhm.
Thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Annie.
Of course.
Okay, DJB Remix. What are your panel questions you'd like to ask?
Oh well, I mean, as we've already like discussed, uh, we have different experiences regarding Halloween, and we've already talked about how celebrating Halloween can get dangerous and stuff like that. But so my first question is like, in what ways is Halloween controversial to you, if at all?
Mm.
Um, it could be in the sense that maybe, like for example, my parents found Halloween to be controversial and didn't allow my sister or me to celebrate it for mainly for because they were just, well, I would say part of it, a huge part of it is religion, of course. Like they were very Christian and they didn't believe in Halloween and everything. But also a lot of it is like, I think, cultural. Also, being that they grew up in the Philippines, they don't celebrate Halloween in the Philippines, so maybe they saw this holiday as like something they didn't really understand, so they didn't feel comfortable with their children participating in. So, is there any aspect of Halloween that's controversial to you when you were younger, controversial to your family, or how about now? Let's start with
I
you.
mean, it sounds like what comes to mind is like the safety issue. Like how you guys are saying like the Halloween that was right after the Night Stalker. Or like like this time of year they're always like check the candy because there might be like drugs or like,
Right.
and it's like
Right.
who's gonna hand
Mhm.
out drugs? Like
I
why would
Yeah,
I give out my
true.
drugs?
Right,
But
they're
like
so expensive. Like what?
like why would I put like razors in the candy or just um like there's controversy with that, like the safety of it.
Mhm.
And um yeah, I mean, and like now they, what do they do for kids? Like they'll wear like some kind of glow stick or something, or they'll have dedicated areas in neighborhoods where they'll have um
Right.
Halloween activities. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, other than that, or maybe like, I mean, I went to Catholic school growing up, so I think as much as possible, they would just say like, just don't wear something like scary, like gory. Like there's like the scream mask with like the blood that would like thing. Like they just, they wouldn't let you have that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Pieces brings up a good point. Checking candy, that was like a big number one.
Yeah.
You can go door to door. Usually the parents, would go with the kids when they're younger, but it's like you're not allowed to eat any of the candy till we get back home. We put it through the light in the kitchen and we go through it all, because that was
Right.
always
And then
a
you
thing.
separate it to the ones that you want to eat that you eat for
No,
yourself.
no, no. In case someone put a razor blade in it or something nefarious.
Hmm.
True.
Now
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you look to see if any of the wrappers were opened, or or the ones that would like give you homemade stuff like candy,
Or
like
apples.
candy apple
Yeah.
dips. I'm like, oh no, thank you, thank you, but no, thank you. Yeah, yeah,
Anything
that's
not
funny you mentioned that
sealed.
too, because now I realized that some of the places that we've gone to, even events and stuff, they've got like a chute now. So they don't
Oh,
want all the kids sticking their hands in the
yeah.
same buckets. So they've got these little chutes that they
Ah,
make, and they throw the candy through the chute, and the kids standing there at the other end with their bucket, waiting for the
Yeah.
candy to fall in. And I, now too, it's like, well, wait till we get home and not just check candy, but now disinfect it all.
oh yeah,
Like
oh my god,
That is, they just have to
it's
sneeze on
crazy.
the candy.
yeah,
Right.
oh my
Interesting.
Right.
goodness, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Hmm.
nowadays, I mean, what's the PC thing to do? Do you wear gloves now when you hand out coffee candy? Or, I mean,
It's the
do you
right
let
thing
them
for sure.
see? Do you let them see I have gloves? you know, I don't, I mean, I'm handing out coffee. I'm handing out candy this Sunday, so I want to know what to do.
Hmm.
Like, what's the PC thing to do? Do I
Candy
like,
stuffed with chemicals.
I
or
just
should I
put
put them in
gloves
a
on.
little
Just put
bag?
gloves on. No, just put
Oh
gloves
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
like as an adult
Wear a
and
mask.
as a
Yeah.
kid, like anything that's homemade, like you were saying, Annie, like apples or candy apples, or I think Pieces mentioned popcorn balls. It's like anything homemade as a kid, I just throw it away because I knew my parents weren't gonna let me keep it, and I don't really want to risk it. You don't know. It's like if you know them, that's one thing. If you don't know
Hmm.
them, you just got at some random house down the street. It's like, do you really
That's true.
trust? Do you really trust it? So anything sealed, we got to keep and got to eat. Same thing with my kids. They were not allowed to eat anything until we get home, and I go through them and I pick the best ones.
And then, I mean, like, how long? And then,
Just kidding.
how long do you keep that candy? In. I mean, how long before
Eat
you
it.
dispose of it? Because I'm like, there's been times where I'm like, well, this candy's still here. It's like December. I'm like, what the hell? Or it's Christmas already. I'm like, shouldn't we get rid of this candy
Mine never lasts. Doesn't matter how many extra I
now?
buy, never lasts. Those kids just go
Jason had
through
a
it
my son
Or
like a bunch of
had a bucket in his closet, and it was like the next year looking for his bucket, he still had candy in it.
no, that's what you
Oh
do.
my goodness.
You
I
go
don't
trick
want to
or
hear
treating.
that. I don't want to hear that. That's like
You go trick or treating.
it's
You
like
take it
getting
home, and then you hand it out again to
No,
the
I don't
people
want to hear that.
whenever you don't.
That's terrible. That's like, like they don't sell the turkey this Thanksgiving. So then next Thanksgiving, that's the same turkey in the bottom of the bin. You're like, oh,
Ew.
we got one. Look.
Hand it in,
No, you
man.
don't want that one. It's like
I
3 year
was laughing
turkey.
hard because we went to a trunk or treat just this past weekend, and they were handing out Nutri-Grain bars.
Oh,
And my son's like, he's like,
Ew.
this is for you, Mom. I don't want this. I'm like, sure, give me the healthy snack.
Oh, that's
Dude.
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh. That's got to be the
That's
worst thing.
so
I
funny.
had
I used to
someone,
always go to that house anymore.
I remember somebody gave out the little small packages of cereal, and it was that. What,
Oh
what it,
Like a
it's
box?
Yeah,
Like a little
the
box?
little box of cereal. But it was that cereal that's like
yeah, yeah.
rocks. It's like eating rocks, basically. What is it called? Grape
Or it
nuts?
tastes like
Grape
cardboard.
nuts.
Raisin bran?
No, grape nuts.
Oh, grape
Grape
nuts.
nuts. It's like a bunch of
Oh,
pebbles in your freaking thing. It's nasty and there's no taste and it's like you lose teeth eating it. I
hilarious.
Oh my
grape
god.
nuts. Thanks
That's
a
like
lot.
Exactly.
we were watching a what were we watching? It was like American Horror Story, and then it was like Halloween or something, and then they were like bobbing for apples,
Oh
and we were like,
yeah.
that's nasty. Why
What?
am I gonna stick my head in
Yeah.
water like mouth
Everyone's like, yeah,
open?
everyone's mouth is going into the
That's
water, and
gross.
then imagine be the last person to bob for
Ugh.
apples
No, thank you.
after
Gross.
people have already tried licking a bunch
Gross.
of different apples and biting into them and stuff. Like, come on, that's like such a gross practice. I can't believe people did
Right?
that at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No. And now doorbell. Yeah. Oh my
Um,
How
goodness.
funny.
yeah. So I guess my next question would be, did you ever celebrate any alternatives to Halloween or anything around the same time to Halloween?
I'll start.
Okay.
Um, yeah, actually, because when the much of the kids' younger lives, I was very active with my church, and I was in praise bands and worship teams and whatnot. So, and then of course we were always involved with whatever they did on harvest, harvest night. So, which often meant like we would lead the the event with some singing and whatnot. So I would bring my
Oh.
kids. So our harvest or I want to say not crusade, but our harvest, that's a different thing. But the harvest festival was always the traditional thing for us to do. Alternatively, and my kids were so confused. They didn't understand. They're like,
Oh.
why are we here? Can't we just go regular trick or treating? I'm like, no, we can't. We can't. And then the fact that I had to explain it to them and say, guys, since we go here, we don't call it trick or treating anymore. We do harvest festivals or harvest events. They're like, that's crap. They said that's trash, which I felt so bad. So yeah, that was my alternative for them. And then of course when we go home, right, we just spend like the whole night at harvest event, and then we go home and their dad's like, "Where'd you guys go?" They're like, "We went to the church and we did this." They're like, he's like, "Come on," and then he would take them out trick or treating, and I'm like, "Well, what was the point of that?" So yeah, so that was always the hardest thing for me to explain to my kids was this. This is what we're doing instead of it's just to keep us safe. It's not to promote, horror and goriness. It's to promote harvest, what how do you explain harvest? So to a kid it's harder for them to understand, but for the adults that are trying to raise up, the ways of your children and the ways of the Lord, you're like, how do you explain that to them if they're not already grasping it? So that was a hard transition for me, to go from traditional trick or treating and whatnot and dressing up in costumes to not dressing up. So, and I was never really big on costumes anyway. So for me, so that transition was like, oh, okay, cool. That's now this goes well with the way that I feel anyway. So good, I don't have to dress up. So, or if they did, if they did, or if your kids did want to dress up in some sort of costume, it had to be a wholesome costume. It had to be,
Yeah,
something
exactly.
alternative, not not promoting that, like I said, the goriness and the horror and the evil and that kind of stuff. It had to be something, like um, Mary Poppins or whatever. So yeah, that that was my alternative. So yeah, I was one of those people that practiced that. I don't do it as much anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would just add that similar to me, because my parents were very devout Christian, or still are devout Christian. But growing up, especially in the 90s, there was some, just a little bit of context. There was just this whole culture, Christian culture, of like making everything that your child does Christian. Like offering so many different alternatives. So there's Christian rap, Christian rock, uh Christian Christian candy. There was like,
Christian superheroes.
anyone ever heard of Testaments? Like
Oh,
Testament?
just a bit. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it'd be like a mint candy, and then there would be a Bible verse on it.
Oh
So
Lord,
so
that's cute.
obviously, like, they don't want, they a lot of these Christian churches, especially the 90s, they didn't want kids doing anything Halloween because they felt like Halloween is bad.
Right,
So they would have like these harvest nights or harvest festival. I never understood why it has to be called harvest,
right,
but other than just, I think a lot of people would complain that it was Halloween, like Halloween is is devilish or whatever. I don't know,
right. Yeah.
but
No, I agree.
yeah, and yeah, like Annie said, you were very strongly discouraged from dressing up as like a vampire, or a slasher or Frankenstein, Dracula, anything like
Right.
that.
Or anything provocative. Like this would not fly, believe it or
Right.
not.
And to me, looking back now that I'm older, I'm like, this is so. I mean, I thought it was silly, but now I realize just how much sillier it is because it's
Right.
to me, it's like it's the same thing. It's Halloween. It's just these kids aren't allowed to go trick or treating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway,
Mhm.
I
Other
mean,
alternatives now are like the doing the trick or treating at the mall.
oh yeah, sure.
That's new. Or like the trunk or treat thing.
Well, but this is
Mhm.
That's
alternatives
pretty
to celebrating Halloween. I'm
sure,
thinking we're
right.
talking.
sure. But it's still like, I mean, for most of us, the default is trick or treating in your neighborhood and dressing up and being scared by something.
Okay, yeah, but there is also like the Day of the Dead, which is
Yeah,
in or around the same time, and
yeah. They're like the Dia de los Muertos,
yeah.
and then
Mhm,
like All Souls Day.
mhm,
Right.
Yeah, that's
mhm.
true. That's part of it.
Right. Did you want to talk about any alternatives that you might have?
No,
You know.
no, I mean that's it.
No.
Like we
Okay.
just, it's like, cause our your the stuff that you were doing and the stuff I
Well,
was doing eventually overlapped. So we were
what is the recent project that you did that
oh, it's
celebrates
like
All Souls?
I didn't I missed the
Okay,
I missed
we were
the
just talking
She
about
missed
the.
the big.
okay. No, yeah. I mean, I've been like, uh, well, I mean, I'll preface it like I'm not like Latino or anything, but I like the thing of like All Souls Day and like to celebrate your ancestors and like how they do like the altar with like photos. So then so I that's we kind of I kind of made like my own version of that and printed out photos of both my ancestors and DJB's ancestors and like put them in like a little collage um just to just to have just to get
Mhm.
crafty and it's just I don't know, I just like that idea. And that's why you need to finish Coco and not fall asleep.
That's true. That's true.
That's funny.
How about how about you, wifey? Did you celebrate any alternatives to Halloween?
I don't think we did. It was kind of the same thing. I had a very strict dad growing up, and his family was Jehovah Witness, so they didn't celebrate Halloween. So, um, when us growing up, he, you know, decided, that's fine. She could celebrate Halloween. Um, but same kind of thing. I wasn't allowed to dress up as anything scary or gory or it was always like princesses and cutesy things. But I mean, we still did trick or treat. We still did the same thing everybody else did. Um, I know that in Puerto Rico, when I used to go there, sometimes I'd go during certain holidays, stuff like that. And because his parents were Jehovah's Witness, like, they wouldn't celebrate it at all. So I used to be
Oh.
like, don't send me at that time because then I can't celebrate it. And I'd be like really sad because everybody would be over here, having fun, getting dressed and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I really didn't have really an alternative like that. Growing up, we did just trick or treat and just kind of, again, was just not allowed to really dress up as anything scary.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
How about you, Johnny?
No,
Um,
he was
I mean, I had
Halloween.
friends. I had friends that wouldn't celebrate Halloween, and the alternatives they would have primarily would be celebrate Christmas early. No, seriously, they would just start celebrating Christmas in early September,
Oh yeah,
mid September.
Oh, okay.
Filipinos do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
And some people just don't like Halloween. Um, if you guys ever see the new Halloween movie, Halloween Kills, one of the main
Oh
characters,
no.
it's Karen, right? She hates Halloween so much that she's wearing a Christmas outfit the whole Halloween night because her mother was, Jamie Lee Curtis's character was tormented
Yeah.
by Halloween and just phobic and all this that she despises the
Yeah.
holiday so much that she's already ready for Christmas in October, and that's a cool little trait of the character. Other
She was
things.
the perfect Karen, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Legit.
Oh, the way she would like raise hell at the hospital. Oh yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's a Karen. Oh yeah, she's a Karen. I grew up in a city where everyone, if they couldn't celebrate this, they'd celebrate 4th of July. So they would just start launching fireworks. No joke. No
Nice.
any excuse to launch fireworks.
Wow.
The, yeah, so that would be another alternative. Let's go shoot some skyrockets.
You know, you know what I've noticed though, you guys, and I know this because recently my kids, I didn't go Saturday, but Saturday night it was supposed to be raining and I didn't go for whatever reason. Oh, because the Halloween movie marathon. Anyways, they went to a pumpkin patch, and pumpkin patch in my day,
Yeah.
back in my day, was just strictly go to a pumpkin patch, pick out a pumpkin and leave. But now they have like full on like rides.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
They
yeah.
have like a lot of family friendly, activities, and all for the kids. There's like these little train rides, or there's little go kart, or not go karts, little
Slides.
yeah, like
Yeah.
wheel and barrel kind of things. I was watching the pictures, or petting zoo. Right now they have petting zoos at the pumpkin patch. I'm like, wow, when did this become a thing? And the other day we drove by one, and I thought, wait, what is that? I thought it was a carnival, like how they come and
Yeah.
set up little
Like a
carnivals
carnival.
at little. We drove by, and I go, that's a pumpkin patch. I was really amazed, literally amazed. Maybe it's been something that's been happening of late or lately, and I've just been in a hole and didn't realize that this was happening. But has anybody noticed that? I mean, a
It's
lot of the
kind
pumpkin
of
patches.
it's kind
Hmm.
of well in our area. It's the places that are the pumpkin patches in October is the same place where they'll be selling the
Christmas
Christmas
trees.
trees
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
Christmas. But
yeah. But
it's very like it's for the grams too, like a lot, to take a picture and like
true
Right.
that. Yeah,
dress
true
up
that.
all cute with the pumpkins, like
I
very yeah.
love that. I think that's a great idea. I just, gosh, why didn't we think of this even when we were growing up? Because obviously it wasn't a thing, but it's a like it's a happening thing. So I don't know what they do on Halloween, if they're still there and people.
And
I don't know.
maybe
Yeah,
it might,
yeah.
yeah, it could be an alternative. Another thing that we did last year too is at the county fairgrounds they usually do like a walk through haunted experience, but then they did a
Yeah, it was a
drive through haunted
Oh, that's
so
cool.
yeah, it was pretty cool. Like
M-
we're in our cars and they'd still like jump scare us and stuff.
my
That would be
sister,
fun.
you guys know my sister. My
Right.
sister's, uh, her dream is to build a car wash that you scare the hell out of them inside the car wash while they get their
I've
car
seen
washed.
My
videos of
God.
those kinds of things. That's
Yeah,
cool. I'm here
you
for
know,
it.
clean and a scare. I
Clean
mean
and a
that's
scare.
I
There
she,
you
love
go.
it.
and then you can do
Very
like
good
red
at it.
soap to make it like blood soap, and
Ooh, that
I'll
would
do
be
it for free,
fun.
man.
Ooh,
Just give me a
that would be
costume. I
fun.
like doing
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh. That's clever. That's very, very clever. I
Hmm.
think your sister should do it. Tell your sister to open up a scary drive through car wash.
Right? That's
Yeah,
so
no, she
funny.
wants to.
Yeah. Awesome. Nice questions, DJ.
All right. So let's hear from Riz. Your questions, Riz, for the panel and for
All
the
right.
chat.
Okay. I mean, this is pretty simple question, but I want to hear what everybody's favorite Halloween candy is.
Ooh,
Cause,
okay.
Okay, I'll
'cause, like,
start. I'll start. I'll
okay,
start.
okay, go
As a
ahead.
kid, I have a picture of it. I'm gonna show a picture of it. So as a kid, talking as a kid, Smarties. So
Oh,
those of you who don't know what
Oh
Smarties are,
Drugs.
and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. And my kids are the same way about it. Smarties, like that's what they barter with. I'll give you one Smartie for two of those bars. It's like gold for kids. And
interesting.
here's why.
Hmm.
If you don't know, it's a Canadian candy. Okay. So a little history here on Smarties. The reason why it's the best candy as a kid is because it's small. You can easily fit many, many of these in your pocket, right? They don't melt, right? Have you ever seen Smarties melt? Nope. They're actually
Mm-mm.
vegan. They're vegan. They're not made with any kind of
Oh.
um, those weird chemicals or anything like that as well. You can fit a lot of them in your pocket. and you get 15 of them in a pack. 15. It's like gold coins, right? They come in yellow, pink, orange, purple, and green colors. So now you have, 5 different colors. How could you go wrong? Smarties.
Yeah. I used to think of it as medicine. I go, oh, I need to take my medicine.
You can actually have a couple and then close it up and put it back in your pocket,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Smarties, the best candy ever.
Oh my goodness.
For kids, for a kid, okay?
Let's see. Do I have a favorite Halloween candy? I don't know that I had an actual favorite Halloween candy. I think I was just happy to get like a bunch of them all at the same time because usually it would be like, Mom, can I get this candy bar? You're at the at the grocery store at the checkout line trying to get one candy bar, right? And she's like, no, or whatever reason. But Halloween, not only did you get more than one, but you got it for free, right? And then you just had just a bunch. So that was my favorite. I love chocolate, so to get any kind of chocolate, whether it be milk chocolate, dark chocolate, or even crunch, because I never really had crunch. Well, normally you don't I want to go get a crunch bar, but you just had a lot of it. I would like to think like maybe the Kit Kats were my favorite because I would always put the Kit Kats and the small Snickers in the fridge, and I love chilled chocolate. It's so good, so good.
Okay. Wifey, did you want to share?
I think my favorite was as a kid the little pixie sticks.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Those
gosh,
are
you
my
brought back so
favorite.
many memories.
Yeah.
The orange pixie
Those are
stick.
my
The orange
favorite.
one. You just be like, the
Yeah,
orange
And
one.
then
Orange flavored.
if
Oh.
you got it too close to your mouth, then it would get all wet and like you wouldn't
No.
get it out.
No.
And I'd be like, dang, and to
No,
like
no, no.
rip it
You
and like
just you shove it back and then you tear another one that's not wet. There you go.
Yeah.
or the other end or something.
How about the kind where you would dip with that long white candy where you go?
Oh,
dip and
stick.
Fun dip.
Dip and stick.
I like
No, dip
I
and
like
fun.
that.
Dip and fun.
Fun
Dip.
dip.
Fun dip.
Fun dip.
I
Fun dip. Okay.
mean, I remember fun
Oh
dip
my
being like
gosh.
the kind that got handed out for like Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
But what is what I like? I like vanilla Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, okay.
I don't
like
think
the
I've ever
chocolate.
had that. The
There's
vanilla.
different.
There used to be different flavors, right? Like
Right,
orange
right.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
They made it like Starburst. Yeah.
Because
Mm.
it's kind of like White Rabbit. It's like a vanilla. It's just I
It
don't
is
know.
kind of
The
like White
chocolate
Rabbit.
Tootsie Roll is nasty, but that's the only one.
Wait. White Rabbit is the Chinese candy, right? Or it's
Yeah.
because they used to get that at my work because I worked for a computer industry. A lot of them are Chinese owned companies and
Yeah.
Asian, yeah. And they would give that. That stuff is good. It's like
Yeah.
liquid
Mhm.
gold. It's like give me more White Rabbit, more White Rabbit. Have like a pile on my desk at work. Yeah, they like melt in your mouth too. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But it was hard to find back then. But they'd always bring it. It's like
Yeah.
White
I
Rabbit.
used to always trade
Follow
my
the White Rabbit.
my Tootsie Roll pops for blow pops.
Yes.
Oh,
They're like
blow
the same.
pops.
That's true.
Yes.
Oh, that brings back so many memories.
I would
There
take
was
it to school after Halloween.
no, there was
Big League Big Chews.
Big League
Chews
Chew.
or Pop Rockets. Or
Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks. There you go. Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Yes.
It's funny. My friend lives in South Pasadena, and there's a drugstore around the corner. And you go in there, and they have all of the classic candies, all of them. Like stuff I haven't seen
Nice.
since the '80s. They have all of them there. It's wow. It's awesome.
I used
Mm-hmm.
to get Chico sticks. Anybody have those? Those little
Mm-hmm.
little
Oh yeah.
Chico sticks where
Yeah,
they're
Chico stick.
round and
No,
thin.
they're
I
long. They make a
love
long
those.
one
Yeah,
too,
they're
and you
long
just
and
break it
round.
off.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
those
I
are
used to
good.
love those. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I see
memories.
the ring pops and you put them like on your
Yes.
I saw those the other day at the store. I was like, wow, look at they're bringing these back. Yeah, so I
yeah.
imagine they're bringing it back because it's
They've
cheap.
always been around. No, they've always been there.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, they
harder to
have
find.
been.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
But they're in like you can find them just about everywhere now.
It
Those
was
are
amazing. They had when I was a kid, they had a pack of cigarettes. And in it, you take it out, and they had like flour in
yeah.
between the paper,
Yeah.
and you blow it.
Yeah.
and then you peel it and you chew it. It's gum.
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
Those
that.
are
Those
awesome.
gum.
Oh, I want. My sister be like, "Can I have a cigarette?" I'm like, I don't know. Come on, one cigarette. I'm like, no.
on
I mean, they
those
They're
actually
all
had powder.
cool.
They had powder that you blow out.
yeah.
Those are
Oh
so
my
cool. They had those at that
god.
drugstore in South Pasadena. I was like, unbelievable.
Oh no.
That was
That I
controversial back
How
then. Okay.
funny.
yeah. That's true.
Right.
That's very true. Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
So many
That's
memories.
hilarious. I
See,
know,
Right.
candy.
seriously.
Candy brings back so many memories.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
blow pop. And when you said blow pop, there was a liquor store down the street, and every time I'd walk in, I'd always get the blow pop, and the guy would have it ready for me because he knew I wanted the cherry flavor. You know, like he'd just have it there ready.
We would sell them. Like we would literally sell them at school for 25 cents.
Yeah,
Oh
they were
my
like 20
god,
cents,
that's
25
awesome.
cents.
Make a profit.
Black market.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice. I love those memories.
Hmm.
Awesome. Nice.
Okay, so my next question, while we're talking about candies that we ate as a kid, I want to hear about the Halloween activities that you guys did when you like were in like elementary school, if you had any. Um,
Oh.
I
Mm.
I can share while you guys are thinking. So at my school, they would have a Halloween carnival, and they would actually like literally call it a Halloween carnival. But they would say like because it's like the black top, and like they would set up all the booths, and like each grade they would have like food or like some kind of game or like some kind of photo area. Um, and then the eighth graders had the responsibility of creating a haunted house, like turning the downstairs cafeteria into some kind of maze.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yes, and I don't remember. I and maybe I guess depending on when Halloween was, it's like around the like a school day or like if it was like on a weekend. But I remember too what some parents did is like the decorations from the Halloween decorations from like Target, for instance. You know, like you walk in the store and it's like the stuff hanging off the wall. After Halloween, they would ask the store to get it, and they would save it
Oh.
and like use it as the decorations for next year. I don't know. These people are like hardcore. They're competitive about their stuff.
Right,
But
right.
like yeah, so like we and again like we have pictures of my brothers and I like wearing our costumes the
Mhm.
for the Halloween carnival at school, which we would also like probably wear it for the harvest festival at church. So there was always like a lot of chances to get candy because then you'd also be trick or treating, and then there's the school um and then at church um
Mhm.
yeah. So that's and there was like a parade too, I think, or like they'd have the little preschool kids like do a little parade and walk around with their
Right.
costumes and stuff. But yeah, did you guys do some kind of thing at school? Some kind of
For me, yeah, in my elementary school, there would be a parade. So everyone
yeah.
that had a costume that wanted to participate, they'd walk out the classrooms into the area where you play, you know, with the basketball courts and all that, dodgeball courts. And you'd like walk around and show off your costume and everything. And then they would have a little contest, you know, who has the scariest or the cutest or but what was really cool, that thing that stood out to me was the staff would also have a contest. So you'd see a lot of the
Oh.
teachers come up with really creative costumes that you never
Yeah,
think of, you know?
yeah.
And we
And
had
you
this
could see
one
them as teachers.
we had this one guidance counselor. I won't say his name, but
He's
he
very
had the coolest costume because it probably wouldn't fly today because you know everyone's so sensitive nowadays. But what he would do, he'd always have a
oh,
huge mustache, right? A big bushy mustache, you know. And what he would do on Halloween, he shaved half his mustache, right? You know where I'm going with this. He
no, I
divide
don't.
like right through the middle, like think Two Face from Batman, but half man, half woman. And I mean,
Oh.
he
Oh,
had a
that's
dress,
awesome.
he had high
I love
heels, he
it.
shaved his leg. I mean, he looked pretty hot. And it was like, it's like, cause
That's
you know, it's like
hilarious.
Two Faces, and you know, like, but you know, half man, half woman, and it was
He
a,
just wanted to
How funny.
yeah, it was just
Oh
like
my
hide.
god.
just saving it up for Halloween. He'd always win too, by the way. How could you top
That's
that, right? It's like,
that's amazing.
I think for
Mm-hmm.
me, similar to Johnny, where we would have a parade. And I vaguely remember, but I think they would take it by grade levels. That back
Okay.
then they would take it by grade levels, all first grade or kindergarten, blah, 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 so that interest of time because there were so many kids, and then first grade, second grade, it was like constant. Like there was just always a group of people always going around. We didn't have a contest per se. It was just a way for the kids to show off their costumes, and parents were always allowed to come on, during during the lunch hour or whatever that time, so they could help volunteer and help wrangle some of the kids. But then they were always led by the teachers who were always dressed, so the teachers always had to be participating. So that was my memory of that. But I think later on in the years, because I ended up doing teacher volunteer later on in college when when I thought I wanted to be teacher. and then um and then they limited the costume parade to like the kindergartners only because just because they
Yeah.
they were the way that the times were changing and whatnot. And so
Yeah.
no more was it the whole school, but now it was just a grade, like usually the younger kids, right? Because they're the ones that first come into the school and they want to experience it. So for the older kids, no, for sure we didn't do that, or they didn't do it. So that was my
Mm-hmm.
recollection of childhood or elementary school activities. We weren't
Another
even allowed to wear our costumes actually on
in school.
the school grounds, even during like recess. We were only allowed to wear them for the parade. Yeah. So
Oh, that was the thing too that I remember growing up is like, I mean, what were the stores around us? There was Walmart and like Target and like the Spirit Halloween. So it's like in a class of like 40 kids, like there ended up being like two Mulans or like people
yeah.
would end up dressing as the same. And so at the Halloween carnival, like that was the thing too, is like you'd find other people wearing your costume and like the parents would be like, oh, that's so cute, take pictures. Like, yeah, just
yeah.
I just remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else
Mm-hmm.
have any other Halloween activities at school?
I went
Wifey?
to a Baptist school, so you know.
They didn't do that at all? Huh.
Not really, not at school. I mean, they would have their own harvest night, but
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't go to that one because I would go to
Yours.
the church. Yeah.
You would sneak
Huh.
out and go to the Halloween stuff. Just kidding. I don't know.
I can say that even though I don't really recall like what activities I did, but something that I noticed for my son when he was, I think, kindergarten, first grade, they allowed the kids to dress up, but they had to dress up as a character from a book.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Oh,
And so
wow.
then,
I like that.
yeah,
Cool.
so they made it a little bit more, educational, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and so like, we kind of did like Harry Potter, and
What
he,
the
you
Harry
know,
Potter fans?
yeah, brought the Harry Potter book with him, and there was different, and then I think they did the same thing. I think they did come out of their classrooms and walk around the hallways and show off their costumes to the other kids and carry their book so that they would show like I'm this character from this book. Um, but yeah, that was one of the activities that they did that I thought was a little different. Um, and interesting at the same time because there were kids that dressed up as certain characters and I was like I don't even I don't even know who that is. And then I see their book and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So it was pretty cool. That's
I
something that
like
I
that.
liked.
That's
Sometimes
Yeah.
neat.
yeah,
That's
Yeah, I
neat.
like that. That's
like if
very
you can't
cool.
think of something, then they're just like, here, at least pick a character from a book. Like I know our
Hmm.
church in the past, like they'd have harvest festivals and like the theme was like Willy Wonka. So then if people don't know what to dress up, they can dress as something, or like we did like a medieval times themed one. So
Mm,
like people dress there's people you have something to dress up as. I don't remember other themes of other harvest
um,
stuff. Did we do like
mm.
a circus? I feel like there would have been a circus, maybe. Typical
Oh, there was
theme.
one that was like Toy Story, so
That's
so people could
right.
Oh, how
be like
cool.
Like
space
I would
Disney.
or
love to have dressed like Jessie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, or like I see, I mean, on TikTok, like they'll have like a what is it? Dress up as the first letter of your name, or
What?
or the so like I R for Rizaline, and like I dress up as a raisin. I don't know, like something to give you like to if you don't know what to think of. There's like some kind of
Right.
category
I see like a
to
prompt.
Got it. Got
yeah
it.
yeah
Yeah.
something like
Nice. Good idea, though. Those are all
Hmm.
really clever ideas. Good questions, too, by the way, Rizzy.
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna do my questions next. My first question sucks, so I'm gonna skip it. No, it doesn't suck. It's just we covered it. We
Yeah.
covered it again, so it's
Oh,
just.
Right.
okay.
So I'm gonna go straight to my second question, and that is, what is your favorite Halloween song or music? I'll answer it first. I answer it first.
Okay.
Mine is the 1962 Bobby Pickett and Leonard Capizzi song, "The Monster Mash."
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just
It's a song
classic.
without a
I
song.
think it's
It's kind of
everybody's.
timeless. Now, anyone, if you ever been to the website Funny or Die, this is a website that was founded by Will Ferrell. They have on there, no, they have on there the unedited version of the Monster Mash. Now, I warn you, it is very dirty. It's not for kids, but it is hilarious. It is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my
So you got
god.
to check it out if you're an adult and you have a sense of
You're an
humor.
adult.
It's the Monster Mash unedited
No.
version
Rated R. Rated R.
on Funny or
Look at
Die, the website Funny or Die. I
I
couldn't
think
stop laughing when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh my
it's.
gosh, oh my gosh." So, wifey. Let's start with wifey.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Sure. A song that I used to put on a lot, and it's a very short song, but it was a song from Hocus Pocus, where the
Oh.
girl's flying in the air and she's calling the children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh
Um,
huh.
that was the song that I loved so much, and like I was like, it's weird if I play that when it's not Halloween, so like I would only wait till Halloween came around and then play it. But that was
That's
probably
Sarah
like the
Jessica
song that I
Parker,
listened to the
right?
most. Hmm?
It's Sarah Jessica Parker, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good stuff.
I think it's
I
called
just.
like "Come Little Children" or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
that movie's
it.
like really like it's gone really popular in the past
Mm.
couple years. That and like
Hmm.
Halloween Town.
Sarah
Right.
Sarah Jessica
Oh, I
Parker
didn't
looks
think about that.
pretty sexy as a witch too. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's like,
She is.
wow, she looks better as a witch.
She's
Oh,
hilarious.
oh yeah.
She
She's like
was
eating the
freaking.
spider.
She was so funny the whole entire time with her little ditzy self. I loved it. It
Yeah.
was. I
It's
said, like I
good.
said, this is the first time I actually watched it from
She's
the
like
start
the
to finish.
blonde witch. She's the
Yeah,
blonde
yeah,
witch.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's called Sarah's Theme. Yeah, yeah. She looked like
Oh
her back
man.
then. Yeah, totally. Um, I'll go. So, of course, the go-to is the Monster Mash, right? But my favorite, it's about the only time I will only really listen to it because it's so long, is Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Right? Especially with Vincent Price when he narrates the whole beginning. That's about the only time that I will really tolerate it. For the most part, I'm like, oh my gosh, because otherwise it is way too long. But I
Mhm.
love watching, I love watching the whole choreography back then, when Michael Jackson did his Thriller, and then watching even people reproduce that later on in,
Yeah.
throughout the years. Even till today, they still try to reproduce it. And I love watching all that. I think it's very nostalgic and it just pays homage to Michael Jackson, of course, but and his mastermind and whatnot. But that I really enjoyed that whole uh, the whole Thriller. I think it's
That was very
really
controversial when it came out too. I remember they wouldn't
it
show it.
was.
They only would show it
Yeah.
on MTV, and they did it at 10 o'clock at night. And it just made people want to
It was
watch it
a whole
more.
mini movie.
Yeah.
It's like
True.
became this. Did you see the Thriller video? No. It was like a big deal because I think he was Jehovah Witness, and they were gonna kick him out
True.
Yeah.
for making
True.
it. So
Yeah.
he had to
Yeah.
do a disclaimer that played before the video.
Yep.
Really?
So it was
Oh.
a
Right.
big controversy at the time. But yeah, it's amazing how in pop culture, I think there's a movie called 13 Again, and they do the whole dance,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because
With
yeah,
13.
yes. with Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer
What's her
Gardner.
name?
Gardner.
Gardner. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah,
she
yeah. They
becomes
were.
13 again, right? So like she meets
Right.
her, it's a good, it's cute movie. But I like how they did the
They
Thriller,
did Thriller.
because that was like their thing when they were
Mhm.
13, right?
Yep. There you go.
What are
That was a
other
good song.
songs? The one that's like the I always feel like somebody's
Somebody's
watching
watching
Well,
me.
that is
me.
actually Michael Jackson singing. He was friends
Yeah.
with the that artist, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
did the chorus for him.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'd always be
That's
like, "Oh, that's not Michael Jackson." No, it really is. It's just he's not. It's not his song. I didn't know that till
Right.
a long time later.
and he
Yeah.
was like one of those one hit wonders also probably maybe.
Was it Devo? His name's Devo, right?
Maybe.
Devo.
I don't know.
Um,
No, I don't think it's Devo. Devo actually had a song, or they were a band, right? Devo, and they had
Another one.
what's that
oh
other
yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. Whip it
Goodness
good.
gracious, what's that one?
Whip it.
Whip it. There you go.
Whip it good.
Yeah, whip
Crack
it.
that whip. Okay,
That's an
off
old
topic.
Twitch
Off
song.
topic here.
That's an
Okay.
old Twitch song too. Dang it. Good sing
What else?
song.
I mean, what else is popular right now? Let's like the one that's like spooky, scary skeletons, shivers down my spine,
Mhm.
something like that.
Halloween Town.
No,
The
I don't know what
No,
it's from.
Nightmare
It's just
I
Before.
know which one you're talking about. I've heard
yeah,
it.
it's just some song.
God.
Halloween song, yeah.
Uh,
Oh.
I mean, I just like the themes from the iconic movies. Like the Exorcist theme, the Halloween theme, the
Thanks for the host, Country
everything.
Mom.
So yeah.
Oh, and
What's your
and even
favorite
the
though,
ghost,
DJ?
even
What's your
the
favorite?
Ghostbusters, right? Sorry.
Oh
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's a good one.
That's his classic pop culture 80s. Like
Totally.
you start hearing it, you just start like grooving. You're just like,
It's true. I love
who
it.
doesn't want a
Totally.
proton pack? Seriously, even if you could
I
kill yourself using it, who would turn it down? No, I don't want that. It's like
I actually saw that at Party City, and I was like, should I?
my kid dressed up like the Ghostbuster, and it's a blow up. You blow up the
Nice.
backpack, and it's pretty cool. I wanted one. I was
Oh,
like,
That's
"Where's
cool.
mine?"
Does he have the
Uh,
does he have the whole onesie too?
oh yeah,
Also, or no?
yeah.
Oh my
We even put his
gosh, I
name
want
on
to
it,
see that.
Noah.
No way, that's so
aw.
cool.
How
Yeah.
fun.
Seriously, I would love to do that.
And every time he sees it, he
Make
throws
it
it on.
big.
He's like trying to
Nice.
fit in it. He's as big as me, okay? All my kids are as tall as me. That's what's crazy. I'm 6 foot. And they're like, my oldest is 6'1", 6'2". And now my baby, he's 6'1". It's like,
Aw.
Not a baby anymore, Johnny.
I know. He can pick me up and carry me.
You better equip him. Just kidding.
Annie,
Those are
Annie,
no. Sorry,
Annie.
sorry.
They know they'll die if that happens. Okay, moving on. Moving on. So
Sorry. Sorry, didn't mean to bring up that coming of age situation.
no, they're good. They're good, wholesome kids. Okay, Annie. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Did you? Okay, so we're done with that one, right? I think everyone gave their favorite song. Okay, definitely watch the Monster Mash on Funny or Die. It's it's a good laugh.
Okay.
Like to hear from Wifey, right?
Yep, I have like
Wifey's
two. Actually,
questions.
the first one, we kind of already covered it too, because it was just about your traditions and what you did and what they are like now. So my second question is kind of a two-part question, so might as well just do the second one. And that is, what is your favorite costume you wore as a kid? And if you can dress up as anything, no matter money, anything at all, what would you dress up as now? So I can go first since
Yeah.
I know that my favorite costume as a kid was always the princess. And because I could wear makeup and my mom would do the rosy cheeks and the red
Oh,
lipstick and
curly hair.
do
Oh,
my hair and,
you wear
have
little
my
heels.
crown, little heels, like the little plastic heels, click
Same.
clack every time you walked around. And, I would twirl in my dress and it was just like the best day ever, like, as a little princess. And now, if I could dress up as anything, I would love to, and I've always said this too, I would love to dress up like kind of like the back in the day with the corsets and the real big gown and
Ooh,
the what do you call, I guess, like, I don't know if it's medieval or is that
sure.
more like
Yeah,
um
yeah.
there's another word for it, I can't think of it, but yeah, those kind of dresses
Renaissance.
where like, yeah, maybe Renaissance too. Um
Edwardian. Mhm.
right, where like you'd have to like pull like the corset really tight in the
There you
back and
go.
like make
That's
your
like
waist look really
Like
that's like
thin
the
and
Ren Fair. The Ren Fair.
right,
Everyone's like,
right. But like
yeah,
those
Ah, the
big
Renaissance.
gowns,
Yeah.
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 That's
yeah, that's, I would love to dress up. And I guess, if you think about it, it's kind of almost the same, like the way I used to dress as a princess as a little girl and then a big gown now as an adult. you know.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
dude. I'm here
what
for
about
it.
you guys?
I was a weird kid. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I don't ever hold anything back. You know that about me, okay? Me and my sister, no, me and my sister, we loved Kiss growing up, right? So even when it wasn't Halloween, my aunt, she would do the makeup and make me the demon from Kiss, and
That's so
she'd make
cool.
my sister the
Yay.
star child or starman or
Yo,
star child or
that's
whatever.
so
And
Nice.
I thought it was the coolest thing. I mean, just running around, I'm the demon, And she had the actual makeup from Kiss, like they'd sell a makeup thing, and she did it perfectly. It was amazing. And so like every weekend or whenever we're down there, she'd make us into Kiss, and so as a kid, I never went as Halloween as Kiss though. At least I don't remember. But we would do that like once a week. It's no, yeah,
much.
that's just what we did, right? It's like, but as an adult now, if I could be if I could, like, spare no expense, if I could be put together any kind of costume, I would be Pinhead from the movie Hellraiser. He's the lead Cenobite. There's a little picture of him there.
I'm here for it.
He's the guy with the nails all over his face. Like, I mean, that would be like a super hard costume to do.
Oh,
That's and spare no expense. And I have the box and everything.
Look
I
at
mean,
you. Oh my
that
gosh.
that's what I would dress up as and just scare the
So
crap out of
funny.
everyone. Good luck eating with that thing on. I'll tell you that.
All right. Ow. Ow. Ow.
Pinhead.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
huh.
So anybody else?
Um,
Um,
well, for me, like I didn't really dress up when I was a kid, like I said, but maybe about 10 years ago, I would think would be one of my favorite costumes was I was a luchador, and so I bought a luchador
Oh.
mask,
That's
and
right.
I had like wrestling shoes and wrestling tights and everything like that, and I had this cape, like
That
a
was
like a
cool.
That is
luchador.
so awesome, dude. I envy.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah, I have the luchador mask somewhere,
Yeah,
but yeah,
me too.
that was really fun. I enjoyed being a luchador because I'm a big wrestling fan too. So, um, and if I could dress up as anything now, I don't I think I'd say I'd want to have a nice cipher costume.
Oh, okay.
What would you?
I thought you were gonna
oh,
say like
right.
Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, that would be fun too.
Yeah, that's what you
Dynasty
always
Warriors, something from
say.
a video game. But yeah, like Dynasty Warriors is nice because if anyone who, is familiar with the Dynasty Warrior series, they're like ancient
That game is
Chinese.
so awesome. I love Dynasty
Yeah,
Warriors.
it's so fun.
It's
Great
awesome.
hack
All of them.
I love
All of them.
yeah, and the costumes are so ornate and so traditional, like ancient Chinese costumes and stuff like that, and so that would be really fun. But I also would want a decent cipher costume to dress up as. That would be dope.
How come
That'd be
they?
cool.
How come they've never released Dynasty Warriors on PC? It's always on the console. Um, I never understood why. I think because the Koei is they're the makers of the game. I guess they had a deal
Yeah,
with Sony or Xbox but it's so sad because it's such incredible games. And like you said, the artwork, the costumes, the traditionalist of the weapons and all that. It's such an awesome series that they never put it on PC that I know of ever. It's crazy.
I think 9 is on PC, but 9 wasn't very good. So
It's the earlier ones like 4, 5, 6. Um,
right, 4 is my
yeah,
favorite.
I
Oh,
could
so
play
good.
that all day and night. It's like It's hard. There's no games quite like it too. It's like hordes of people, and then you got to take out the boss, and then you have you. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's just so satisfying. It's like
Oh my goodness.
anyway, getting off topic. Sorry.
Favorite costume.
Ah,
Okay, I think I remember one of the costumes that I had when I was a kid was the sky dancer. Does anyone remember that? It's like
Oh,
a
is that the one that spins?
yeah, you like go. It's like and then it
They
goes.
make all of those.
Yeah.
Those
And
are
like
my
oh,
interest.
it's like
nice.
I look like it's like a leotard looking thing with like some like wings looking.
I
It's
know what you're talking about.
that was
That
dope.
they show the videos where like the poor little girl did it and it like landed in
And
the
it goes
fire.
yeah yeah yeah. Um,
I have no idea what
I
you're talking about. I'd be like, what?
It's like a Barbie doll that like you
a
pull the
fairy
string and it would like
thing like
spin
Oh,
Tinkerbell.
in the
oh, oh,
air.
oh, oh. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I've seen that in a movie or something. Yeah.
Whee!
I do remember too. Like I liked the DIY costumes. So like I think one year my family went on a trip and like we stopped by the side of the road and someone was selling like tie dye shirts. So I like got like little glasses and like little headband and I was like I was a hippie. Like I was like, oh, look at me, like I'm so cool because I made this design myself and just wear like flare
Nice.
schemes and um those were good. I think if I had to dress up as anything, like I'm gonna have to go with wifey. Like my favorite princess growing up was Cinderella. Like
Yay.
I would love to wear like a legit like poofy looking dress and like
Like
do
straight
my
out of Disney.
yeah
Fast slippers.
yeah no not
Wow.
that's not comfortable. Poofy dress like poofy dress. We just need a reason to wear big poofy dresses.
There you
Right?
go. There you go. Yep. Yep.
How about you, Annie?
Okay, well, this is a loaded question. I was looking at that. I go, oh my God, there's a lot going on in this question. So, okay, well, first of all, we were so poor. My family was so poor that as kids, me and my brother would our Halloween costumes. You guys get this. We would go and we get a mask with a tie-on outfit, and that was our costume. So whatever it was, if it was Cinderella or if it was Sleeping Beauty, or in his case, I don't even know what they had then as boys or for boys, but we would walk around and I'd be like, trick or treat. I was so mad that we were in a mask and a tie-on costume, and I was so pissed that one year I said, "Mom, no more with those darn masks and tie-on costumes. I want a real Tinker Bell outfit. That means like a real
Aww.
wand. I want wings. So we actually went to a place. I think we went to Michael's and we found a poofy skirt. And I,
Yeah.
I I actually got a wand and wings, and I was so happy. It was a legit costume because I was so over that cardboard mask or that plastic mask and that like tie on paper dress. It was awful, 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 awful. Now, in terms of what I want to be, or if I could dress up, well, besides like DJ says, I'd like one day to be able to make a Viper costume. I'd love that because that's
Cosplay.
she's my main.
Here
I'd
for it.
really love to be to be in a Viper costume. But other than that, I've got like a few more. So I love Princess Leia. Yeah, I want to the whole costume in the
Nice.
the hair in the bun. But I
Nice.
also love Ray from the Force Awakens. So I mean, she's freaking badass, with
Yeah.
her. Oh my
With
gosh,
the
she's so
hair. Yeah.
awesome. I love her too. But my ultimate. Okay, I just dated myself, but is Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Hello.
Yo.
Hey.
That'd be
I
cool.
want that.
Yo.
That's what I want.
With the
I
hat,
want a
right?
yes, with the
Yo.
hair pulled back, with those big long, big hoop earrings,
Yeah,
black,
here for it.
everything, right? Oh my gosh, it's and where she's like, "We are part of
Yeah.
the rhythm nation." Oh my god, all that is so freaking awesome. Janet Jackson she was freaking badass.
She wore that better than
Hands
Michael
down.
could have.
And she did it
Right?
better than Michael could have.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that whole era. Even if we even there's another one where she comes out in kind of like, as a carnival, and she does escapade, and she wears like some almost like yoga pants kind of, but she wears a tailored um, a tailored uh, uh, blazer, but it comes, like this out.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, she looks so freaking beautiful in that. It's like, oh my god, yeah. So I'm like, oh, I'd
Do it.
love to, one day, just emulate Janet Jackson because she was freaking awesome. So yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Two Ray action figures. Yep. Oh, you have two Ray action figures? Oh man, send it to me. No, I'm just kidding. I want to see what it looks like.
I'd like
Illegal.
to see a crossover. Janet Jackson versus Rey from Star Wars.
Oh, that would
that's
be
the thing.
hard.
Right?
Thank you
There's
very
always
much.
like, a lot of cosplay. Like they'll do like a bunch of like Disney Princess Sailor Moons, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
like oh like this it's Leia, but it's like Marvel character, like some kind. I don't know. Yeah, it's
Yep.
it just goes into like cosplay, and that's a
Yep.
whole other thing. But it's I mean a lot of these things are more accessible now, so it's like do it.
Yep.
Next
Yep.
next year will be our dream costume.
I think
You
next
know
year we
what?
should
Something
plan Valorant agents for sure. Just
something
kidding.
Annie say it jarred a memory I have. I think I remember in elementary school that we actually made our own um Halloween Halloween mask out of paper bag in a cutout.
Oh
Oh,
No, yeah, I
yes.
mean when we were really young, like
kids just
second,
like
third grade. No, but seriously, that would
I
be a
do
thing that
remember
we
that.
would do. Because
That's
you
cool.
use because you always had the paste. So you cut the holes for the eyes, and then you paste this cutout of a monster like
On a
Frankenstein or something.
popsicle stick or something, you would like this. Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
We
yeah.
used to
yeah.
do that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there would be things like that. And you know what? I think I've seen some of the most creative things from Halloween decorations. Just amazing, like amazing
Yeah.
displays, mazes, artwork they put out there, lighting, and technology has just gotten out of control now too with it. I have a mummy that his eyes follow you. It's crazy. I put it out there at Halloween.
Oh.
Scares the crap. My kids wouldn't even come. Like they want it in the garage. They like wouldn't come in the house with it there. It's
I'm a
just
bad kid.
Oh my gosh.
it's cool though.
Even
But
like even like at the store, like I remember like Walmart, there's the area that's seasonal, and like I would be so scared to just walk through because it had all the
All right.
motion
Yeah.
activated.
one of my
Yeah.
You
kids
wouldn't
would
know.
make us go and to prove it's not a live animatronic.
I was that kid.
Yeah. No, I
Oh my
mean,
goodness.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, funny.
oh
That's
my gosh.
that's great.
Okay, is that everyone for this question, right?
I think
Mm-hmm.
so. Yeah.
Okay, that's all of us for our panel questions. We're kind of running a little late, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna show some pictures of our panelists dressed up, and we can try to figure out who they are and what they're dressed as. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So with this first one here. So let's get a little color commentary there. That's obviously AnnieTalks. Can you see it?
Oh my goodness. Try
That's
to guess, you guys,
Oh,
what it is.
yeah.
I am. That's a
No
book, right?
idea.
What kind of book is that? Is that an English book, math book? Looks like a math book or a
um,
gold bar.
I'll give you a hint. It's a musical. Hmm.
Pride and Prejudice is a good guess.
I don't remember
Good
any
guess,
You
scene.
pieces.
were practicing your
Yes.
bridal walk.
Annie Pride and Prejudice.
All
Mr.
right, I'll give
Bingham,
you
we'll see
it.
you.
It is. This is me dressed up in a musical called Music Man, and I was a pick a little
Okay.
lady. Yay!
Mm.
I was a
Oh,
pick a
okay.
little lady. Pick a little, 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 Anyways, that was a tongue twister. So, I also doubled as Ethel Toffelmeyer, who was Marcella's Marcello's Mar. I forget his name now. Oh my goodness, his love interest. So, I played Ethel Ethel. Oh my gosh, Ethel Toffelmeyer, and a pickle little lady. Goodness gracious, yeah. So that's what I did.
Okay, next picture. Next picture.
Mhm.
There's Andy again.
Oh goodness.
What are you
There's a
dressed
delay.
as?
There's a little bit of a delay here. Hold on.
Okay,
Let me
sorry,
see.
sorry. It's
Oh,
the
okay,
stream
okay,
world. It's the
okay.
world of stream.
Okay, because I didn't have
Okay.
a lot. You guys, let me preface this because I didn't have a lot of Halloween pictures because they're stacked and piled somewhere. I went as far back as my Instagram and my Facebook years and years and decades, not decades, but years ago, and I couldn't find any Halloween pictures. So what I did find were a lot of the musicals that I was in where we had to dress anyways. We had to be in costumes. So I'm no stranger to dressing up in costumes and whatnot. So this is a theater called it's called the Mysterium Theater, and at the time we did not get the rights like we thought we were for the Beauty and the Beast. So instead, this was a knockoff version of a musical called The Enchantment of Beauty and the Beast, and
Oh, okay.
and some of the castle workers, I guess, for whatever they're called, or the housekeepers and whatnot, were transformed into, because of the curse, were transformed into to either live or animals or something to that effect. So I am actually a tiger there. So I was transformed
Mhm.
into. So by day I was a. Oh gosh, what was I? By day I was a princess, and then by night I was actually Belle's sister. Again, remember, or the
Huh.
princess's sister. So remember, this is
Okay.
the enchantment of Beauty and the Beast. It wasn't the real Beauty and the Beast. So I was a
Right.
sister by day, but at night, because I was one of the
Mhm.
cursed ones, I became a tiger. So there you go.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. And those are my castmates. So yeah.
So
Hmm.
Annie is basically saying that every day is a Halloween at Annie's house.
Every
Yeah,
pretty much.
just kidding. Okay.
Essentially.
Okay, moving on.
Hilarious.
Oh, there we go. There's Annie again.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me?
I told you every day is a Halloween now. Here we go. Just give it some time.
Oh my god! Okay, last one, you guys. Again, I do a lot of musicals, and this musical was the Into the Woods,
Yeah.
where I doubled as Cinderella's, or no, Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother, and then I also doubled as Cinderella's mother, who played a tree. Actually had a picture of a tree, but I couldn't find it, so I played a tree.
Mhm.
Actually played a tree, so I doubled again as Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother, who got eaten by a wolf. If you know the story, Into the Woods, and then I doubled as Cinderella's uh, mom at
I'm
the
not.
tree.
I'm
So
not familiar with the theater talk though. What do you mean by doubled? Doubled at? Does that?
so it's double
There's two.
casted. So instead of just being single casted as one
Uh huh.
one character, I was double casted. So I played, because obviously grandma's not in every her grandmother was not in every scene. So the
Oh,
scenes
okay.
that needed a second character covered, basically I doubled as I was chosen, and I was doubled as a
No, when you say
Cinderella's
that, I
mom.
think there's two grandmas for Little Red Riding Hood. You know what I mean?
Oh no,
Like
no.
one in the background, one in the foreground. Okay. Okay, I know what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
got
Okay.
it.
There you go. That's me.
Okay.
Thanks for showing those. Appreciate it.
Okay, next one. I have no idea what this one is. No clue at all. Give it a second.
Oh my God! Really? Okay. Here's
That.
another. This is again Music Man, and this is me playing Ethel Toffelmeyer. So now I no longer am a pickle little lady. I'm now Ethel Toffelmeyer. So I was really goofy, and we did like these ho down dances, or whatever. So yeah, so a lot of do-si do's and da da da. So they pretty much gave me a lot of leeway to over exaggerate moves and dances. So I would learn what everybody else is learning, but I over exaggerated to make it more Ethel Toffelmeyer. So, and this is
Mhm.
me playing. I forget her name is Sarah, but I can't remember what her role was. But yeah, there you go. Again, I'm no stranger to dressing up in the theater, so I thought it was kind of fitting for Halloween.
Okay.
Okay, we done with me?
Nope. We're like at the
Oh
halfway point.
my god! No. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, here now is Enchantment of the Beauty and the Beast. Is this is where we're at the ball, and I'm the princess's sister. So I'm trying to, I'm dressed up in the masquerade because it's a masquerade party, and there's supposed to be, princes, not princesses, but princes, men, right? That were coming to the ball and such. So I was one of the ones that were like women in waiting kind of thing. Wait, that's a bad
Mhm.
thing. Never
That
Did
mind.
you
that's
did you keep any of the costumes, or like they keep them? The theater keeps them.
Well, that's a good question because a lot of because it was a very small community theater which I called my playground. I where we had the whole so it was a train depot which was interesting. It was a whole train depot. The first half of the train was the theater, and the second half of the train, or no, rather, the second car was second and third car were costumes. And you open up the door and there was tons and tons of costumes. So what
Interesting.
they would do is they take our measurements and they would say, go to this section, section A,
Oh,
B,
okay.
C are your sizes kind of thing. You would need to pick out, color pink, this dress, that dress, whatever. They would tell you where to go to look for your costume. So you personally would go in there and you'd go, oh, I like this. So you take the costumes and you'd basically, fix it up, or I would take it in. I was also a seamstress. I tripled as a seamstress.
Mhm.
So I would actually, sew costumes, and then we would fix up masks and things like this. So we found a mask. We found feathers, those little feathers. These are feathers that you actually put in big vases, which is really weird. And I stuck them up here, which killed my face because they were scratching up my face. And I found this gigantic bouffant wig that I had to pull. You know how back in the day when they would have ringlets, right? And I'd have it all scrunched up to one side one night, and I'd have it scrunched up to the other side one night, or I'd have it way up, another night. That was the great thing about being in the theater, is that you could always just, play with however way you feel that night for your costume, and I loved that so much. So I made this costume. I made the headpiece. I made the mask, and I made the dress, the costume. So
that's I think that's very scary looking
Well,
outfit. I don't know. So no, no. It's
I'd like
very
to
very
know.
like it's a very it gives you a very disturbing feeling. Like it's very
does it? It was the way in
Out of
which the
context.
yeah.
photographer
It's
grabbed it.
no that scares me. Yeah, no, that's very scary.
Oh, okay.
No, that's very
No
effective.
wonder,
I mean,
no wonder I got nobody to dance with that night. No, just kidding. Silly. Oh my goodness. Thanks for sharing, Nancy. Appreciate it.
okay, we're not done. We're not
Oh,
done. We're not done.
Lord. Why? I just said pick a few.
No, no, you said we're showing them. Ah, okay. Eh.
Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. All right. So I played Andrina, who was Ariel's sister in The Little Mermaid. So I was the one with the pink hair, and my role was I forgot what mine was. Um oh well, anyways, so I was one of the sisters. So yeah, we got to dance, we got to sing. We in the musical, in the theater production, we actually had a show or a song called "She's in Love." If you guys could ever like one day just Google it, or find it on your wherever you listen to your music, find this song. It's called "She's in Love." It's so fun, such a fun
Mhm.
song. So that was me playing Little Mermaid's sister, or Ariel's sister, Andrina.
Okay, thank you.
Are we done? Okay, can we move on? No, please, no more, no more. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Okay.
Oh my gosh, gives me flashbacks to Olivia Newton-John in the '80s with "Let's
Mhm.
Get Physical." Physical.
Okay,
I gotta hear
again,
this one.
this is another musical called
Yeah.
Fame, and then this is the dance instructor behind me. I was actually a teacher, but she made me go in her class. She goes, "I need you in my class," so she made me be well. I was supposed to be a student, but I ended up being like one of the older, I guess, teachers. I don't know, or teachers. So I put the headband and my hair up, and yeah, and I had a tie dye shirt and a big long skirt, and yeah, so that was Fame. That was a lot of fun. Again, I had a lot of leeway to over exaggerate moves. I had to learn what everybody else did, and I just got to make it my own. So I was the standout teacher that was made to sit down. Like,
But that had to be like a really like a lot of like a very difficult role, no? Because you're gonna have to do all
Choreo.
the choreo. Yeah, the
yeah,
choreography, right?
yeah, and she was the gal behind me. She choreographed it and she danced. She started it in the one dance number, and I told her, "Oh my God, please go easy," because I'm not a dancer. I'm more of a singer
Unless it's
songwriter.
hula.
Um, unless it's hula, yeah. I
Yeah.
go, please go easy on me. She goes, you can still learn it, but just totally, overdo it. And I'm like, okay, okay. So yeah, there you go. Oh my God, Johnny, that's enough. Go to these other guys now, please, please, please. Oh my God,
No,
no.
it's just picking yours. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. What is this one, Annie?
Again, pick a little ladies. So
Okay,
same thing.
so same
These are the
thing.
pick a
Okay,
little ladies, all of
another
them.
picture of the pick a little ladies.
Pick a little. Yeah, pick a
Okay,
little
here we
ladies.
go. Here we
Pick a
go. Here we
little
go.
ladies.
This
Oh my God.
is. I already forgot what this is. I have no idea.
Oh, there you go.
Little color
That's not
commentary
Wow.
there
me.
for wifey.
That's not me. Yep.
Oh,
That's
that's
wifey.
me.
That's wifey.
That's hella cool.
So
So this was supposed to be a Disney competition, and they wanted you to pick characters that weren't like, your typical, I guess, like Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast or whatever. So I decided to do Shere Khan, which is the tiger from Jungle Book, and that's
Oh.
why I ended up painting my face that way. And same like I said before that I did a Tim Burton contest. Same people that would do different contests for Halloween, and so that was
That's
the
hella
theme
dope.
was, yeah. So like a Disney character, but not like a main character, I guess.
And then you like blacked out your eyebrows too, right? Is that what
I
I'm seeing?
did. I did.
that's a
That's
good
so
effect.
pretty.
That's a good effect.
She's so artistic. You could have been. I wish you were at my musical. You would have done all of our faces.
We just
That's
gotta make sure she gets
pretty.
paid.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
How did you do two of you? Is it two different poses and put it in one picture? Is that
Right.
okay?
Hmm.
To show like
That's
timid and fierce, right?
Right.
Yeah.
that's so
That's neat.
pretty. Did you have something that like did you have a like a picture that you mimicked, or did you just kind of decide this is how I
No,
want to
I
do it?
had I had like a this little stencil that I
Nice.
used, like I think kind of like on my forehead. And then I was like, you know what? Like it's not really gonna fit in other sections. So I kind of just like did my forehead
Freehand.
first, and then from there just kind of made all the lines. And just kind of
That's
um
cool.
the thing is I used to do face painting before. And we talked about this. I told Rizaline that I used to do face painting before, and I used to do it for activities or like events and stuff. And one of my popular ones was a tiger. So I went through so many different versions of tigers until there was one that I kind of stuck to. And so that's also kind of my version of a tiger with the white and the nose and whatnot. So yeah, that's why I just kind of did it that way, kind of my own version.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it. That's so beautiful. You're so artistic. I'm telling you.
Thanks.
She wins in all the like all the drawfuls and stuff that we do online. We already know. Oh, it's wifey's. Our artist.
That's a neat one. I like that.
I love that one.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, here's our next one. Let's try to guess who's in this.
So that's I'm in the bottom right with the black shirt. And this is our church, and this was the Harvest Festival that's Willy Wonka themed. So we like these were like people in like my youth group and stuff, and we like the couple of days before, like got all the decorate. We do all this stuff ourselves, and this is like what is that, like a big styrofoam board maybe from leftover from like construction or something. So then they painted it. And the funny thing is too, actually, our church right now, the Harvest Festival event this year is actually Willy Wonka themed too, but it's like outside in a garden. Oh, look at all the babies. But this was like, shoot, looking at this. Okay, wait. I'm wearing a shirt from like maybe this is like 2011. I want to say. Oh,
Wow.
so like 10 years
Wow.
ago.
Okay.
Just about. Yeah. A lot of these people are like married with like kids. Yeah.
So did you get to keep the golden ticket? I want to know.
No, no, that's
They
what I
keep
was
it?
saying.
Do
I
they
was like,
keep it?
we did.
Like,
No, I was like, they should have just kept it because they use it again. But
yeah,
yeah, because
that's
you can
kind of.
even see in the back, like there's like the lights, and I think we tried to spell out like Wonka or something. And yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
there's
That's
a lot
pretty
of
cool.
DIY stuff, but it's like
But that
it's
gets to
kind of
show
basic.
like alternatives to Halloween, like the kind of
Yeah,
themes
Right.
Right.
and
yeah,
the
And message.
creativity and everything behind it.
yeah.
That's pretty
We try
neat.
to
Mhm.
shoot
I'm a
that.
huge fan of the first Willy Wonka. My kids think that Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka. They don't understand that he's an actor.
That's true.
They see him as something. He's like, no, that's
I
Willy
like it.
Wonka.
Yeah,
That's not this character. I'm like, no, guys. They don't
yeah.
get it. They don't
Right.
like. I love the
Imagine.
movie.
Yeah.
So funny.
Okay, next
Yeah.
one. Ah, ho, 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 ho. This one's really cool too.
I'm waiting for it, but
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That is so adorable.
So
I love it.
so that's
So
wifey on the
this
left, right?
was
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
that is me as Mary with the purple hair.
So good.
And I this was when I was in the military base. My husband was in the military, so we lived in the military base, and these are my two neighbors. And we kept
So
thinking, what do we do? What do we do? There's three of us. Um, and so we automatically were like, oh my God, we have to do Hocus Pocus. And the funny part was like their two costumes are legit. Like, they went
they
and
bought
bought the
them.
actual costume. I, for on the other hand, was like, I'm not buying their costume. I don't like Mary's costume. I'm making it myself.
Nice.
And so
That's
the
what's
top
up.
part was from another costume, and then the bottom part was just like a piece of material that I cut slits in the bottom and added a little pocket. And she had Mary had like this little red cape, so I just bought like a red cape, randomly, and kind of put it
Oh,
together.
so
And the
good.
wig too, I was like, I could not find that hair, the way she had it. So I actually have, believe it or not, a half of a plastic bottle in my hair to be able to make it stand
Wow.
up.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Yes,
good.
That's
to
awesome.
Awesome.
make it stand up. Like I needed something and I couldn't figure anything out. So I was like, what do I use? I'm like, hey, you know what? I got a bottle. And then I went to put it on my head, but it was like too tall. So I ended up having to cut it and keep like the top half of the bottle and build it from there. Took a lot of bobby pins, a lot of hairspray.
Wow.
But it was fun, and I gotta say that out of all the Halloweens, like all the times we trick or treated, that was where we got the most people like stopping us for pictures.
Nice.
It was
Nice.
really cool, yeah. And I kept walking around, and if you've seen the movie, how they kind of like intertwine their feet when they walk, all three of them
Oh, yeah,
together.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so we were doing that too. And so when we would get close to the kids, it'd be like, I smell children. And the kids would turn around and start screaming and running around. And it was just like hilarious. But oh my gosh, like I loved that the trio of us. And I think too, the girl in the middle, as the main character, right? I forget her name. Winifred? Yeah, Winifred.
Uh-huh.
We put uh towels. We rolled up towels, little hand towels, to build her hair.
Oh,
Oh,
Interesting.
nice. Really?
yeah.
Hmm.
Get like the
She had
poof
a
thing
wig,
going.
obviously, right? Then
No, that's her hair.
wait,
Yeah,
she
it's
had
her real hair.
Yeah. The only one that has
No.
wigs is me, and then the blonde on the
Right,
end.
right.
That was a
Oh my
wig.
goodness, that's clever.
But the girl in the middle,
Nice.
she already had red hair, so we were like, "Oh my God, this is perfect."
Oh my God, that's
But to
so
build it, we were like,
clever.
"What
Yeah,
do we
yeah.
use?" So we just took like these little hand towels that were like really small, and just kind of like put
Rolled.
it
Okay,
around
yeah.
and rolled it and put it on her head, and yeah, and then that's how we built
Genius.
her hair.
That's awesome that the
Oh,
three of you, being neighbors, able to come together and do that for Halloween.
Right.
that's
You know,
awesome.
it's
Oh my
just
gosh, how beautiful. I love that.
It was so much fun. It was really fun. That's one of my faves. Hmm.
Okay, let's see. Next one. Uh-huh.
I hope you have some of yours in there, Johnny. Oh, okay.
Okay, so a couple years ago, I had an itch. I had an itch, right? I wanted to be MacGruber. So I don't know if you know what MacGruber is. MacGruber was a little like what do you call it? A spoof they did of MacGyver on Saturday Night Live. It's supposed to be like the illegitimate son of
What with
MacGyver,
Will
right?
Forte?
Yeah, Will Forte, exactly, right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they
yeah,
came out with a
yeah.
movie which has the most hilarious opening theme song ever. So I would way out of my way like trying to get that outfit he has because he has like a regular like corduroy shirt, but then he has this
Yeah.
like fisherman's, the fisherman thing that has all those
Vest.
zippers and pockets. So
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
to
yeah,
Ah,
go
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
all
yeah.
over trying to find it, and then I found one. But then one of my friends is like, "That's not the right MacGruber one." He's like, "I'll give you mine." He had one like, and it was identical to it.
Oh man.
So then I used his, right, and then I put all this like random crap in the pockets, like cotton swabs and
Paper clips.
rope
Oh
and
my god, that's
fingernail
so
clippings,
funny.
all this weird crap in all the pockets. And it was funny because at the
Oh my
time,
God.
one of the cars I had two cars. One of them was a Miata. It was a 1991 Miata, and that's the car he drives, right? So somebody made me a little cardboard cutout of a fake radio, so I can pretend I'm carrying my radio around, like in the like in the show and the
Like the
movie.
Miata.
Yeah, it was the same color, red. It was hilarious.
Good,
People got like such
good
a
one.
laugh about it. But it was actually
Oh,
really
that's
hard to
funny.
get all the stuff for that, for the MacGruber's character. It was like it took me like a month of searching, because it's just they don't make a costume for that, and I had to piece it together. So, but it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun that Halloween.
That looks funny. That looks fun. Fun.
MacGruber,
Yeah, good one.
MacGruber. Okay, moving on.
Those
Uh
are good
huh.
ones.
Okay, you gotta tell us about this because there's a trophy there. I want to know what that trophy's about.
Ah,
Okay,
yay!
so this is another harvest festival. My friend's Pocahontas. My other friend's like a disco something. This is another DIY costume, and I was supposed to be Taylor Swift because there was
Ah,
some year that like she had some award. She got an award and she was wearing a red dress. So I borrowed that dress from Pocahontas, I think, because at that time we were all the same size. And that's like a volleyball trophy. But that was my like I don't know, that's like a lazy God, that must be like freaking oh god. That's like yeah, that's like 2010 ish. I was skinny back then. Or it's like I didn't think I was skinny back then, but I was skinnier. So
the girl in the middle. I think she's Delight from the group Delight. Groove is in the heart,
yeah.
right? That's what it looks like. That the
For another.
groove is in the heart.
Yeah.
Heart. Okay.
Groove is in
I know what this one is, a harvest festival. I could tell from the hat and
I
from the
think
background.
I have a feeling I know what picture it is because
uh
yeah, so
huh.
this one this is one of my faves. And this is another like DIY. Like that was just some dress from like Forever 21, some like tank top I had from Forever 21, and some like jacket from like Wet Seal, and I wear a belt and like that's like a headband and I just like it had a bow and I just like made a little hat and I was Willy Wonka. And
Yeah,
the
because
picture was like
it's a
in
purple jacket
Yeah.
yeah.
overcoat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
jacket.
yeah.
Just and it's
Yeah.
hard to
That's
find that
really
color
cool.
purple. It's very hard to find that color purple.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a.
And I think I like emceed that event too, and I even like did my makeup and stuff.
How
And
did you get the
one
hat to
time
stay
when
in
I
your hair? Is there a?
it's a headband. It's a headband with a
Oh,
bow on it,
okay.
and I
Yeah,
just stuck the hat onto. I made a little card. It's like construction paper.
yeah.
I
Okay,
made
it's like a.
yeah. I made it just myself, but
That's cute.
yeah.
uh,
Well, baby me. That's like long before DJB and I were dating or anything.
Yeah,
So
true.
Okay. Oh, I like this one. My kids love this one. I'll tell you that right now. The creativity is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. This is awesome.
So, can you see it, wifey?
Oh yeah, I see it now.
So give like my kids. I told you they love Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, and it's really hard to find anything for them. At least back a couple years ago, it's like impossible, right?
Right.
And
And even looking them like on them for the costume online, they were super expensive.
yeah,
Like a legit costume, like what my son wanted. And so I talked about this a little bit earlier. So it basically was the Bonnie, I think, character from
yeah,
Five Nights at Freddy's.
yeah.
And so my son was obsessed at the time, and he wanted a full on costume, and he went on Google and he was showing me exactly what he wanted, and so I was like looking up, like I said, and they were super expensive. So I went on to YouTube and started looking up like other people who made the costumes and stuff, and kind of got ideas from there. And I it was super simple. People think like it's really difficult, but it was really
Simple
simple.
for you.
I literally used a poster board, and
Oh,
I like measured like the size of his head so they could like put it like the headpiece on and off. And then out of cardboard I cut out like the top part, and I made the little rolls for the arms and the legs, and
oh,
then all I did was cover it in foam, cover it in yellow felt, and
oh,
then I actually burned the felt so that it would kind of like look burnt and ugly, because he's not supposed to look pretty.
So,
And so then I used paint and painted it, used pipe cleaners as the little wires coming out. um
so a little
and yeah,
backstory.
that's
A little
very
backstory with
cool.
Five Nights at Freddy's that people don't know. It's a game. But it's think
right.
of like Chuck E. Cheese. You know how there's a robotic Chuck E. Cheese, right? Now imagine if they went haywire and they started killing people. So that
Mm-hmm.
character there's called Bonnie. It's supposed to be like a robotic rabbit, but that particular one's burned
Right.
up. Like there's a version where it's kind of like robot parts are showing, and that's what Wifey did to the burning to show it's an animatronic that went nuts. Uh,
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Good.
And it
what?
was funny because he was like, no, I have to wear all black underneath. So he had a long black sleeve t-shirt or shirt, and then
And
he
gloves.
had black gloves, and he had black pants and black shoes, so that nothing, no skin or
Cool.
nothing was showing, so that way, it would look complete. So yeah, he absolutely loved that costume that year, and we ended up going to this place close to where we used to live in Texas, where they had like a community center, and they would do events every year for Halloween, like trunk or treat and stuff like that. And that year, we went there, and everybody was commenting on his costume, and he was just so happy with it, and it was kind of cool because they had this room where we ended up going, and that's where we ended up taking pictures. And that was just like a green screen, so you didn't know what was going to be your background. And they just kind of picked different backgrounds for you and then gave us the pictures after. And then I just dressed up as a regular little scarecrow, and my husband was a scary scarecrow,
Yeah, that's scary.
which he scared so many kids with that costume that day. Like little kids were in line waiting to get pictures taken, and they were crying and stuff,
It's
and
like
he had to like say I'm sorry, to the parents and stuff because he felt bad.
Yeah.
it.
Honestly,
He
though,
was.
like
It
masks,
reminds me
costumes
of
with masks are more practical now.
Hmm.
his costume reminds me of like the Wizard of Oz, but like really scary one. Like instead of
Hmm.
if I only had a brain, it's like if I could only eat some brains.
Totally.
Holy
Oh my
crap!
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was that.
Love it. So creative, you guys.
I know
It's
that's what I love about Halloween: the creativity, whether it be decorations, the costumes, the makeup. Um,
Yeah.
right.
I remember one year, one of the girls at the party, she dressed up like a doppelganger of the girl from the Progressive commercials. He looked just like her. It was freaking hilarious, right?
Cool.
Oh my gosh,
Just
that's funny.
okay.
Oh my
So give us a little insight on this next one. Wifey. That's wifey.
Oh
Yay, I
God.
like it.
Go for it.
So, okay, this is also in the military base where we lived. And that year, if you guys remember the show Once Upon a Time,
uh-huh.
and so it was super popular at the time, and um, pretty much all of us like neighbors, we would all like, oh, did you see the episode? And we were just all like really obsessed with the show and stuff. And so we then decided, you know what, like, why don't we all dress up as different characters? So I was the evil queen with the apple. I was her name is I think Regina in the show.
Yeah.
And I found like this one picture of her in so many, because she had so many amazing dresses and costumes in that show. Like I loved her outfits. And so I had found the one that, I was like, oh, I gotta, find something that kind of says evil queen, but also kind of like shows her style the way she did it in the show.
I like
So
that.
I kind of did the same thing where I didn't find the costume. I just went from store to store looking for different pieces. And I think I even did for like the pants, like I wanted like that shiny, like fake leathery type pants. And I went to the thrift store. Like, I'm like, hey, they've got to have something. And sure enough, found one of those pieces there. Um, that I think the top was like a corset that I ended up finding, and the cape I ended up getting to. And you kind of can't see it in this picture, but there's actually red feathers all attached to the back of the cape, because in the picture
Wow.
that she
Oh, I
did,
do
she
see a
also
little
had it.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like
Okay.
red feathers. And then the cape, I wanted it to stay up, like the top part, kind of like how the Dracula's type, like cape
Right.
thing that stays up. But mine was floppy. Mine stayed down. So I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. So I cut a hole in it, stuck poster board inside of the cape
Nice.
part,
Yeah, yeah.
and then just kind of sewed it back in. And then that way it was like standing up the way that I wanted to. So yeah. And
Nice.
then the girl in the picture next to me, she's supposed to be half wolf, half Red
No.
Riding Hood.
Oh, okay.
Because in the show, same thing, like the girl, the Red Riding Hood turned into the wolf. So yeah, so she was that
Oh.
character.
Nice. Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
so creative. Look
it
at
was a
that.
lot of fun.
You bring up a good point, wifey. The thrift store is a great place to find costume
Oh,
stuff,
sure.
especially if you're trying to play
Right.
a character, because you go, you try to buy something new. It's the fashion of today. It's like they're not going to have anything for the most part. Um, um,
Yeah, or you pay big bucks for it, like
you pay big bucks
Right.
for a kit. But
that's true.
to be honest, when you buy a costume like via V from one of the Halloween shops, the clothes don't look quite right. They don't look heavy. They
Yeah.
don't look.
Not very good quality.
It's
The
it's
material
it,
is
it is what it
really,
is.
yeah,
Maybe if there's a way to get it and put another layer in the inside that you can't see, that gives it some weight to it. But there's no real weight. It's not the same.
right.
Like the picture
Right.
where you're with your neighbors for a Hocus Pocus, you can tell your costume is like legitimate clothes, and theirs the material just looks like it's thin, like it's not
It's
a
just the
real
costume
material.
buying. Right?
Yeah,
Hey, you
it
hmm
came a
looks
long
good,
way
but
from the came a long way
no,
from
I'm not
the
knocking
paper
it. It
ones,
is what it is.
It
But I'm
doesn't
saying
look
like
like
if you can piece
authentic.
together your costume, if you're trying to do a character, it's worth it in the end. It'll look really nice. Like
Right.
right.
It's true.
Yep, yep.
Okay, that's it for our pictures. All right,
Oh,
half of them were
ciao,
Annie,
ciao.
because every day is a Halloween Annie's. No.
Oh, stop. It's not every day because I'm here every
I'm
day
just
of Halloween.
joking. I'm just joking. I think it's awesome. Um,
Those are all musical theater photos. So, yeah. Anyways. Well, to be fair, actually, I dressed one day I had a top hat. I had rented it. And there was a time where you actually could go to a Halloween shop and rent costumes. I had a
Kind of like
glitter
a
top hat.
LA kind of thing a little bit.
Yeah, I had a glitter top hat. I had a little show vest, like or show jacket with long ducktail or tails, right, right. That and was one of those chorus line um, dancers. So I couldn't dance for crap, but I pretended to dance. So
That's that's
yeah,
that's what
so
it's about. You just pretend.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
So that was actually one of my favorite ones, but I don't have a picture to show for nothing for that. So, anyways, that is what it is.
okay, well, we've pretty much come to the end to our show here. I want to thank our panelists here: DJB Remix, Rizalinebeatrice, Wifey Loves Nerd, and Annie Talks Show. Thank you so much, panelists. You guys are awesome.
And
Um,
Johnny freaking Rico, our
thank
Woo,
host.
you. Thank you.
Johnny.
Yay!
I hope you enjoyed our stories, our retro, our nostalgia about Halloween. I think Halloween's a really important holiday. It gets overlooked. But no, I think for community wise, at least for me, from my experiences, I can only speak for that. It really brings communities together, and I think it's a really good thing. I try to, when my kids were young, take them trick or treating, get them. And that's what it really comes down to. Like, if you have parents that grew up with it, you're going to take your kids out when they're young and take them around the neighborhood and
Mhm.
show them. I
Yes.
mean, it's okay not to want to celebrate it, but I think it's good community wise. It's something we probably really need to get back to because we don't have a lot of holidays where the communities kind of can intermingle readily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And the kids have so much fun. I mean, I just saw that tonight, just going into the kitchen with my little grandbaby, how excited she was. So
yeah, that look on her face when she sees grandma, she doesn't see grandma, she sees Wonder Woman, right? It's like,
Oh,
yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, so that's
Not my son.
the joy.
I shouldn't take it off and like go to
No,
take him to school tomorrow.
you should. You should.
let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
Go kiss him goodnight. Go kiss him goodnight right
He'd be
now.
like,
Go.
he'd be like 3 blocks away. He'd be like, you can drop me off here. You can drop me off here.
They're like, no, I'm gonna drop you off right there, right at the front.
And I'm gonna roll down the window and be like,
Lower down the
make sure.
Oh, hilarious.
Oh, well,
Yeah, he
thank
would hate me. He would hate me forever.
Thank you to everybody who is in our chat. You guys, this show would not be anything without all of you, without any of you. You guys are what keeps us going. As long as you guys enjoy it. If you have any suggestions for topics for future topics, please let us know. You can reach any one of us. Actually, I think I have the panel here. You can reach any one of us here on our links there. You can DM us. You can, if you're in any one of our discords, you can let us know if there are any topics that you guys would like to talk about. And part of what we do is, like I said, the premise of mixed talk, or as Johnny mentioned earlier, the whole premise of mixed talk is to talk things about things that we experienced as we were coming of age, or things that we experienced as kids and in our teens and our young adult lives into what we are experiencing today. And it's always a compare and contrast and see how things may still be relatable to today. So we're always looking for ideas. I think Johnny's going to talk about our next month's topic as well, so I'll leave it to him to tell that.
Well, we're gonna do next month's topic. We haven't put a concrete date for it, but we're looking at maybe November 23rd. It's just gonna be on holidays. We're gonna talk about holidays in general.
yeah.
So, like Annie says, we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We thank you so much for joining us and joining us in the chat and getting your feedback. It really brings so many memories just hearing these things from the chat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's one thing about life. It's like, you know what? You can have all the money in the world. You can't take it with you. But your memories is something that you're always they can never take that away from you. And I think that just sharing memories with people, fantastic times, things that are important to us then and see how they're important to our children or us now. I think it's just amazing. And once again, want to thank everyone for the chat. Thank you so much. We got our contacts here for our panelists. They're in the chat. We're gonna try to find someone to raid. So if you guys can find someone, if you want to raid, and we'll
Stick
do it.
around, you guys, so we can do a raid and pay it forward to one of our fellow Twitch streamers. Say hello on behalf of Mixed Talk. Do we have? I think we have a raid call. So here we actually have this. Yeah, there you go. You can copy that. So we're gonna go raid. Copy and paste that. And then we're gonna go raid somebody. Let me think. Let's see.
I put in our Discord thingy that there's a channel that I found called Silver Line Comics, and they're in the talk show and podcast category right now. If you
Oh,
wanted to
Silver
yeah,
Line
follow,
Comics. Oh, that's perfect. Let's do that one.
yeah.
yeah,
So if one of you can put the, I'm not in the console right now, so if one of you can
Okay,
do
hold
the raid command.
on. Okay. So do you want to do it, Riz or DJ? Any one
Oh,
of you guys?
we can do it. Moz can raid.
I can do it. I'm in it. I'm in the console.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
I'm just here.
it's hold on. Let me. Who is it? It's here. I'll go to our mixed talk real quick. Sorry, you guys. Technical difficulties. Silverline Comics, right? At Silverline Comics. All right, you
Yeah.
guys. Copy and paste that. If any one of you guys, you can use. It's a pretty generic. Silverline Comics. It's a pretty generic raid call. So let's go pay it forward. You guys, thank you all so very much. We really truly appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to our fellow panelists and our host, Johnnyfrickinrico. Let's go pay it forward right now, you guys. Be amazing, do amazing things, make amazing memories. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.